Beep.
Please look at my announcement.
Let me look. Rosa has haters. I am one of them. Rosa has no haters, and I have left this world. Yeah.
Oh, despise her. Alright, we're gonna load.
Wow, Struggle Point 2 went live.
Wow.
Really?
Wait, is this part 4 or is this part 5? Let me check.
I think it was 4.
Because I have 4 saves. Let me just make sure real quick.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's part 3.
Huh? No, it's not.
That's weird. Why? Where's Umineko part 3? Did it get deleted?
The one from last time? Let me look. Did you delete it by accident?
I don't think I did.
See 3. Let me check part 2.
Yeah, because I'm also checking it real quick.
No, because we ended off right before the kids go to the beach.
Where the fuck is it?
Yeah, Natsuhi has her moment in part 2. And we haven't seen Natsuhi in part 3.
Wait, what the hell?
Maybe recent highlights and uploads? Let me see. No, this is all
It's not in my it's not in my video manager at all. It's not in my video producer.
Part 4, part 2. We did stream 3, right?
Yeah, we streamed it. People were there.
Aww.
Copyright claims? No claims. Did someone flip it? So 9 days ago, that's in part 2.
It's weird.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna do this real quick.
Past broadcasts. All videos. Part 4. Part 2. Yeah. Wait, maybe it's in... Oh, there it is. There it is.
Oh, where?
In The Last Among Us with the homies.
Oh, it's because I forgot to change the title. Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna change that real quick. Yeah,
Did you highlight it?
No, I haven't highlighted it. I am changing it.
Oh, that's why you couldn't find it.
I'm not even remembering what subtitle I posted with that. There. Okay, that's better. Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus. Woo. Not good. Almost not good. Okay. Kinzo noticed the sound of the raindrops beating on the window. This man's crazy. It finally started to rain. It had begun later than the weather report had predicted. Kinzo, as if being summoned by the sound of the rain, approached the window. The sound of the rain is the sound of silence. Sound feels quieter than any silence. It makes humans remember that.
His daughter beating the shit out of his granddaughter in the rose garden.
The sound feels quieter when we're not dealing with someone beating the shit out of their kid. The sound feels quieter than any silence. Makes humans remember that in the end they are alone from when they are born, from when they die. Jesus, Kinzo, it's the rain. You are late. Bigotoris. Or were those words directed at the rainy sky? No one can be seen in the direction of Kinzo's gaze. So, shall we begin our banquet of miracles? In this very moment, this island has been cut off from the world. Now there are none who can interrupt my ritual. There are many fitting sacrifices for you. Boy, I tell you what, we really did decide to stop at exactly the right point last time.
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas. I imagine if we had done this, we would have been up for like another hour. Because like, what do you mean we're gonna stop after this?
Yeah, I'm really glad.
4 of my children, 3 of their companions, 4 of my grandchildren, me and my guests and my servants.
That's literally everyone.
You can eat up as many as you please. The key of fate will select the sacrifices in accordance with the demon's roulette.
Thanks, Kenzo.
Thanks, Kenzo. If that roulette chooses me, even I will become your sacrifice. Damn. To think that she's all this and she's still going to kiss Battler. However, because of that, because I will bet on that madness, I will definitely create a grand miracle. Come, devour as much as you wish. I will overcome that roulette. Yes, I'll put everything on the line. First, I will return the headship of the Ushiromiya family. Take it! Oh. As Kenzo violently opened the window, he ripped the golden ring from his finger and forcefully threw it away.
Hey, Thomas. Hey, Pete.
Hey, what's up, guys? At that moment, the thunder resounded, giving the illusion that Lightning had accepted the ring. Are his kids really acceptable sacrifices if he doesn't care about any of them? I mean...
As long as blood is spilt, I think.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, like, it doesn't matter if you care about them, but, like, I mean, it's giving something up.
Yeah.
And when you are resurrected, it will be me who stands there. I will live until the end and watch over you as you awaken. He's absolutely the first to die, right?
Imagine.
Now come, Beatrice. I mean, we've set up the locker room murder. It's like, there's no way it's not happening immediately. Welcome to my banquet. Dad, I'm like 5 hours into Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I'm still not past story setup cutscenes. Why was I not warned? It's a JRPG. I mean, this is like when. Fiend, I don't know if you've heard that like the Yakuza Like a Dragon stuff is like very literally like Persona, but like everyone's like, I want Persona, but it's like
Adults.
like adults in their mid-40s or whatever. But, like, they meant that in, like, basically every single way, shape, and form, including the fact that, like, hey, setup takes a while. And that's like that.
It?
Yeah. Please tell me you're enjoying it, because it's it's very important to me. People I like the things that I like. But yeah, Like a Dragon means, lad means like a dragon. I figured it was a Yakuza game about some lads. Why was it 18 years? So that they could skip the entire events of Yakuza's 1 through 7. Or 1 through 6. It needed to be that, so Ichiban didn't know a thing about what happened with, like, Kiryu at all. Like, he does not know that, man.
Yeah. Kiryu's story basically happens in that time span.
Yeah. Which is ironic, because there's, like, a small window of time that I think they go to prison together.
Yeah, there is, actually.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. When I invited a weeb to hang out with me and my cat, you, me, Neko, thank you, Beryl. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you enjoy your. I think that's like the one chase segment in that game with that one dude with the animal pornography. I think I
remember.
in the opening of that game, Ichiban is on such shit duty that he is chasing down a man who is selling what he's calling uncensored pornography to children, but it's just animal fucking. Don't worry. Once you get to Yokohama, things open up quite a bit. But up until that point, it's a little bit. It is a little bit like it's on rails for a while.
Hi, Beryl.
Hello, Beryl. Now, come, Beatrice. Welcome to my banquet. And actually, really, once you get to Eugene Show, it's still pretty on rails until you get like the bat. Once you get the bat, it opens up a little bit. Anyways, now come, Beatrice, welcome to my banquet. In exchange for all that I have created, show me a miracle one final time. Oh. I'm gonna let
I
that
love
stand
the
on
way
its
they
own.
did that.
Yeah. Oh. Beatrice! Oh my god. What? You know, maybe I could have gone for 5 more minutes. Letter and umbrella. It's 6 o'clock.
Wow.
A news ticker popped up on top of the TV program we were watching. This island is completely cut off from the outside world. Yeah, but we still get the TV reception. The disaster report told how municipalities all over were continually sending out rain, flood, and wave warnings. Of course, the harshly beating raindrops in the window were much more convincing. This rain's incredible. Still, when it's raining this hard, it feels like it's going to stop soon. You wish. They said the typhoon's moving slow, so it could be like this all day tomorrow. I just noticed that Jessica has like a little thing. Just like a really tiny one.
Yeah, she's like that.
And even a little weather would be enough to stop the boats. Looks like we won't be able to head out on Sunday after all. Glad it was cautious and didn't make any appointments for Monday with the outside world. Guess this means... Looks like we'll be skipping school Monday! Living on an island starting to look pretty good. I don't know. Give me a second. Come to think of it, Jessica, you have to take a boat to school every day, right? Oh, thank God, we're getting clarification. What do you do when the boats are closed down? You stay home? Do you stay home when it rains and show up late with the winds blowing like King Kamehameha? I really I heard him say Kamehameha before I saw Kamehameha, and I'm like, what, Dragon Ball? Kamehameha. If the boats don't come, I stay home. Still, not as good as it sounds. Most of the time I get ordered to do private study, and they're super anal about checking it, so it's not like I can take it easy. During rainy season, when the weather stays bad for a long time, you must be forced to miss a bunch of days in a row. Yeah, that happens. But then every single day I'll get a call from my homeroom teacher sourly instructing me on what to study and what to turn in. Are we supposed to know how King Kamehameha shows up to places? Oh, well, King Kamehameha is like a Polynesian. So they do a lot of sailing. Like they ride in with the waves or whatever. So you can't slack off as easily as you're thinking, Bather. Just follows rules for people who travel to school by boat and get a good amount of studying done. It'd actually be easier to just go to school. My own room, I get distracted and can't concentrate. Plus, being made to do nothing but work with for several days straight is really mentally stressful. And I'm looking ready for college. I really just want to go to some place with dorms to say goodbye to the good riddance this pain-in-the-ass island. Yeah. So, by the way, what do you want to do? What do you do when the weather's good in the morning, but gets bad on your way home? Gets so bad on the way home that the boats are closed. You spend the night at school? That actually happens a lot. So they have some logics for people who can't get back to the island. I stay over there. Sometimes when it gets really bad, I can't get home for a few days at a time.
Oh,
if you look at it from the perspective of the people who have to go to school every day on a train packed, it's over. If you look at it from the perspective of those people who have to go to school every day on a train packed to over 200% capacity, it's easy to irresponsibly think that going to school on a boat seems pretty interesting and fun. But it's actually hard work in a lot of ways. You consider it towards say that kind of thing all the time. Damn.
I don't recognize this George sprite.
Yeah, this one's like, I haven't seen this one in a bit. I've had enough of island life. I want to finish high school quick and leave this island behind. That's been a full boarding school you could have gone to. Why'd you go and choose the school in Nijima? That's what I wanted from the very beginning. It's Mom. She's always going on about how I need to learn manners and discipline as a successor to the head. In the end, I got stuck with a high school close to home. Man, I hate this island. I just want to go live in a city. A city where it doesn't matter if rain or even spears fall from the sky, as long as you stick some casual clothes and sandals on. You can still get to a shop in less than 5 minutes. I mean, I don't know, spears falling from the sky feels like it would probably interfere with that.
Cute little pout.
Yeah. Hold up just a little bit more. It's only a little longer till you graduate high school, right? I can't wait a little longer. Puffy, yes. Jessica stretches out and reclines on the sofa. Maybe now, because now was a bad time slot, there wasn't any interesting programs on. We had nothing to do languidly kill time until we were called for dinner. And Maria had not turned her into the cousin's room. Oh no! She'd probably been brought back to the mansion by Auntie Rosa. Nope! It had to be pretty boring for Maria all by herself while the adults are having a confusing conversation. We thought we might head over to the mansion to see her, but after all, there was this lousy weather. Oh, you guys are assholes! Go check on her! God damn you! What's wrong with you?
They gave Rosa too much credit.
You saw her beating her child! What the fuck? Ah! So we stayed where we were. At that time, we heard the sound of a humble knock. Jessica answered. Hello? Preparations for dinner are complete. Please come to the mansion. It's Canon-kun's voice. He went to all the trouble of coming from the mansion in the rain just to call us over. Couldn't he just called us on the telephone? Oh well, maybe sometimes part of the servant's duty is to go against common sense. Yeah, I get the feeling that happens a lot with these people. Guess when I was getting hungry. Let's go. George Haneke turned off the television and stood up. Ah, my stomach's been growling for ages. Main family dinners are always fancy as hell every time. And didn't Goda-san say it was calf steak or something? Ooh, can't wait. They get it even more fabulous on the day of the family conference. Even I'm looking forward to it. Let's go, let's go. As we left the room, Canon-kun bowed silently and respectfully. Alright, let's go. Is the rain nasty out there? Yes. Please take care not to get your garments wet. Just seeing the three of us out, Canon-kun peered into the empty room. Ah, shit. Is Maria-sama not with you? No? Isn't she with Auntie Rosa? Television. Wasn't there someone with us who really want to watch TV? Was it you, George? Yeah, if only. Rosa lying himself in the empty parlor, falling asleep at some point. Oh, I hate her! Oh, die! Death! She was bearing a burden on her shoulders that the children could never even imagine. Therefore, when she let herself relax, that exhaustion quickly led her to the world of sleep. Your daughter's out there, you bitch. You bitch. You bitch.
Look how dark it is outside!
Yeah. Realizing this, Genji brought a blanket over to her. When he tried to spread it over, her eyes snapped open as though she had received an electric shock. Oh, it's you, Genji-san. Thank you. She realized that the thing she had touched her was a blanket. Genji had been considerately giving it to her. She let out a sigh of relief. That's a interesting response to be that fucked up by somebody like lightly.
Yeah.
Did I wake you? That No, it's okay. I hadn't planned on sleeping in the first place. What time is it now? As for the time, Genji checked a pocket watch that he took out of his chest pocket. It is slightly after 6 o'clock. Rosa gave her head a little shake as she realized that even though it felt like she had slept for a long time, not much time had actually passed. Even though she didn't feel rest at all, the drowsiness that wrapped around her felt very deep. Thank you, I'll be fine without the blanket. I mustn't sleep at such a strange time. My sense of time has been completely thrown off. The rain. Has it finally come down, I see. Rosa realized that the peaceful sound that had put her to sleep was actually the rain that started falling, that her daughter is trapped in. The wind is blowing hard too, blowing through your daughter's hair. Perhaps the typhoon is finally upon us? You mean upon your daughter? Coming down on your daughter's head right now? Bitch? Bitch? That's what they're saying on television. Typhoon is moving slowly and they expect it to be like this all throughout tomorrow. I see. That wonderful rose garden. That must have been my last chance to see it. Who else is in the rose garden, Rosa? Who else? From the window, she could see the rose garden was completely burned by the wind and rain. Maria, that's right. Where's Maria? Yeah. Are we lucky or unlucky this is a visual novel and not a game? No, I think this is fine. I think this is a very, very appropriate. I mean, what this is a book with visuals and voice acting. I mean, it's not like
that would have instantly murked her.
I mean, I would have I would have done if this was a game where if it was a game where you could have swung, even if it wouldn't have messed with her at all, it wouldn't have affected her at all. I would have been doing a lot of swings in her direction.
Yeah.
That's right. Where's Maria? I have not seen her. I would think that she has returned to the guest house. Rosa knew her daughter's nature well, and the chill ran up to the back. Maria was stupidly straightforward to the point where stupidly could be repeated seven times, and if she was ordered to find something that she didn't exist, she would look forever and ever, even if rain was pouring down. Rosa, you need to get the fuck out there right now. No, the cousins left earlier, so Maria was alone. Unless someone told her to stop, she would stay there even if spears fell down from the skies. Is that like an idiom? Is like spears falling down from the sky some sort of like idiom?
I don't know.
Because like it's coming up like a weirdly like large amount of times. It's weird that it's come up twice without even opening an umbrella. Oh, what have I done? Losing control of my emotions. Yeah, you stupid bitch! Go get your daughter. As her mother, she had known about Maria's foolish straightforwardness better than anyone. Yet she had once again lost her control over her emotions and done such a horrible thing. At least she feels bad about it. Doesn't make it better, but I'm glad that she feels bad. Maria, Rosa pushed Genji away and ran down the hallway.
Damn. Genji, get out of the fucking way.
The outside really looked like a typhoon, pouring down magnificently. Perhaps because some figure of terrain, the winds were not as strong as a typhoon, so an umbrella wouldn't have been torn out of one's hands. Even so, it was enough to call it a storm. There was no time to admire the roses being soaked by the rain. Anyways, I'm getting pretty worried about Maria. Thank you, Battler! Thank you for finally getting off your ass! You don't think she's still rebelliously searching for that rose alone, do you? I wonder. Really not with this much rain, is what I'd like to think, but Maria-chan is sometimes really stubborn and foolishly simple. Just say, please just say she's on the spectrum, please, God Christ. We hadn't worried much, thinking that Auntie Rosa had taken her back to the mansion. You know, we thought while she was beating her. However, it was concerning that Kanon-kun had thought that Maria was there when he finally came to the mansion to call us. Not seeing the mansion, so I assumed that she was here. Since Rosa-sama was taking a nap, you didn't see her on your way over? My apologies. I opened my umbrella and ran as fast as I could, so I did not pay much attention. If he had cut through the rose garden, the shortest line between the mansion and the guest house, then he would have missed the place where Maria had been looking for her roses by a little. It was starting to rain this hard too. There was a good chance Kanon-kun had failed to notice her. Enough debating around. It'd be faster to just check it out directly. Yeah, take action. Aniki, you up for a little race? Man, it's really fucked up that like Battler says all that shit because it's so easy to like him. So, you think you can beat me now that you've had 6 years to grow? I do like that. Like there is a little bit of that playfulness still left in George, even though he's like very normal. Yeah. All right, let's find out. Let's go. Like I think I like their dynamic the most when they're like a little bit like Bash Brothers together.
Yeah, definitely.
George, Anki, and I flew out into the rain. Jessica and Kanon-kun followed us. If you're here, answer me. Auntie Rosa. Auntie! When George Haneke called back, Auntie Rosa flew at him in what amounted to a tackle. Where's Maria? Isn't she with you? No, we haven't seen Maria Chan since then. Six years ago, Maria had been 3 years old. She had been a cute and pure kid who would just accept anything, accept whatever anyone said. But 6 years had passed since then. She was 9 now, and experiencing the good and bad parts of life should have taught her something. Yeah, she's still just as innocent and pure as she used to be. I circled the rose bed. Something white unexpectedly turned to face me. It was a white umbrella. Maria, holding a white umbrella, was crouching, still searching for that rose. Where did she get the umbrella? Who gave her the umbrella? Wasn't it? Did like her mom give her the umbrella during like the confrontation? Like, she throw like an umbrella at her or something?
Rosa said
I can't remember
because she didn't leave an umbrella with her daughter.
Yeah, you're right. Who the fuck gave it to her? Her face, which had turned bright red from her crying her eyes out, was dirty with water and mud. It was a truly pitiful sight. You idiot! You still looking? Can't find it. My rose. Can't find it. Maria probably had been here since the rain had started pouring down. Looked like her quarters were freezing. Looked tired to the bone, but fortunately, since she was holding onto an umbrella, she was not completely soaked. Probably an umbrella from the handbag that Maria was always walking around with. Oh, okay. Thank goodness. Seriously, thank goodness. Thank goodness you found her. The umbrella was a gift from Beatrice. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. Thank goodness you found her. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Auntie Rosa threw her own umbrella away and hugged Maria. It's not here. No, Rose isn't here. Mama will look for it with you later. Okay? So just let it go for today. Okay? Let it go for today. Looked like Maria still wasn't able to accept it, but she no longer had enough energy left to resist. Just couldn't count on putting God up with us. I'll have a towel ready in the mansion immediately. Were you here the whole time? Sorry. I'm sorry for being such a bad mother. I'm glad you know. Auntie Rosa, why don't we head back to the mansion for the time being? Maria-chan will catch a cold like this. You're right. Maria, let's go. If we don't get you cleaned up, grandfather will get mad at you. Oh, we're right back. We're right back to it. We had 2 seconds. I'm hungry. It's already time to eat. You did a good job searching. Once the weather gets better, we'll all go search together. We couldn't stay in the rain forever. We took Maria with us. We headed back to the mansion. Maria apparently wasn't as weak as I had thought. She remembered the dinner was calf steak. She started chanting, I'm hungry, ooh, and returned to her usual healthy self. Auntie Rosa didn't chide Maria on her, ooh. So that's it. You had an umbrella. You sure are good at packing the right stuff. I didn't bring an umbrella. God damn it! You intentionally misled me. I've been betrayed. And how'd you get that white umbrella you holding? Borrowed it. Seems that some caring person had brought her an umbrella. Mama girl would look for shelter once it started raining, but there was no way Maria's stubbornness would be broken by something like that. It was definitely Beatrice then. So maybe that person gave up on recommending that she find shelter and at least brought an umbrella for her. Really? I'll have to thank them. Who was it? Yeah, let's go! The name that Maria mentioned very happily was that of the island's witch. Rosa took a deep breath and asked again, trying to avoid hurting Maria's feelings now that she was happy. Really? That's nice. So who was it? The person who brought you that umbrella? Beatrice! Maria, who quickly picked up that her mother didn't believe her, made an angry face once again, so Rosa stopped pursuing the subject. It looked like it would be faster to ask the person who had lent Maria the umbrella during dinner, rather than ask Maria herself. Beatrice. Beat rice.
Beat rice.
Father, please at least join us for dinner. Won't be a family conference like this. Along with the dog pounding on the door, the sound of Krause's entreaty could be heard. However, the voice seemed to harbor a deep sense of resignation that the sound would not reach its intended ears. Kinzo-san, won't you at least go out for dinner? Haven't all your children gathered to see your face? Silence, Nanjo. So the bishop won't work. One move short. Apparently Kinzo was completely focused on the final battle of his long-lasting chess match with Nanjo. Brow wrinkled, he continued to glare at the game board, those spectacles. Krause's voice didn't reach his ears. I am also hungry, dude. I'm fucking starving, please. Man, when Maria brings up Beatrice, the old man is gonna flip his dick. Oh, it's gonna be great. I don't think he's going to be alive come dinner time. I think he is dead between now and dinner. Kinzo-san, I'm also hungry. Won't you go down and eat? In that case, you can go by yourself. Leave me to consider this next move for a little longer. We are going to finish it tonight. Otherwise, it looks like this match will never in eternity be settled. Nanjo stood from his seat, hoping this would prompt Kinzo to do the same, but Kinzo's eyes never left the chessboard. He knew well that Kinzo always displayed a blind concentration when it came to chess, but he had never seen Kinzo as focused as he was now. He was acting almost as though, just as he said, the game wasn't finished tonight. There would never be another chance for them to continue their contest. Further attempts to persistently call him would surely not reach his heart. Nanjo gave up and headed to the door that Krause was still banging on. The door to the study opened. Krause took a step back. Surely Kinzo hadn't actually come out. But it was Nanjo that stood at the door. Krause breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Dr. Nanjo, his father, at this point, he's gonna start eating the chess pieces.
Yeah.
Not Nanjo, who can't realize why he's losing. Kinzo, who's been eating the chess pieces.
Yeah.
His father, I'm sorry I couldn't be of service.
Actually, we
Kinzo-san's
didn't really
world is...
try, to be honest.
Yeah, Kinzo-san's world is nothing but this room now. I mean, he knows.
Yeah, he knows better. I think
No,
Krause knows better, too.
Nanjo shook his head with a completely defeated expression. Krause raised his fist once more and banged on the door, shouting, Father, can you hear me? We are heading down now, but anytime you feel like it, please join us. All of your children are waiting for you. The voices were very loud. The door was being noisily pounded on. There was no way that it would reach Kinzo's ears. It was reaching him. However, he was ignoring it anyways. However, unlike the time he was being called down for lunch, he did not get into a rage. Kinzo was now simply calm at heart, and it was almost as though he had obtained peace by turning himself over to fate. I am not interested in dinners, nor in my son's faces. My daughter's faces, on the other hand, yeah, okay. I will only leave here when Beatrice is resurrected or when I am chosen as a sacrifice for the key. The demon's roulette has already started spinning. What meaning does dinner have at this point? As though the painfully loud banging on the door had completely failed to enter his hearing, Kinzo, in a state of total peace, silently thought about his next chess move. Flags, flags, flags. That man is... That's how he made his millions. He sold flags. Thrown up all over the place. Just as always, Kinzo was the only one missing from the dinner hall. Krause, wearing a bitter smile, returned with Nanjo. Just as always, father is not feeling well. He truly regrets missing this once-a-year opportunity to sit down with his gathered relatives. Ava and Rudolph snickered. Judging by Kinzo's character, he didn't regret it at all. And none of his relatives regretted that he hadn't appeared either. So why don't we start dinner? Goda, get it started.
They fucking hate his ass.
Oh, I forgot. We hadn't seen Goda in a while, and I forgot how fucked up his chin is.
Yeah. Look at him and then look at Krause.
It's like way worse than like anyone else I've ever seen. Like this is like Crimson Chin level shit.
Holy shit, Goda's tall.
Yeah, he is. It's how you know he's evil, because he's so tall. I'm gonna go grab a drink really quick now that we gotta... What? I mean, tall people are evil. Everyone knows that. Anyways, I'm gonna walk my 6'2" ass over to and grab a drink.
Okay. That's not evil. What is he talking about? Unless this is a warning and I have to run now. Is that chin fart? Oh my god.
What?
In touch, you had a dream with me, and if I think you have failed to grasp my character. Are you talking to me, Beryl? Because I'm not the one that said that tall people are evil, unless you're saying that I was wrong and assuming that all tall people were not evil and you actually are evil.
I also grabbed a yogurt.
Nice. What flavor?
Blueberry.
I would have offered you a Ziploc baggie for your burger in the swimsuit pocket. I would have taken it.
Certainly. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, we shall begin. Upon finally being told that the family conference dinner, his highlight scene for the whole year, to begin a family conference dinner, his highlight scene for the whole year, Goda nodded, grinning broadly. I was wondering, who was it that lent Maria an umbrella? When Rosa timidly cut through the silence of the dining hall, everyone there turned their attention to her at once. Umbrella? What's this about? Started raining while Maria was in the Rose Garden a short while back. It seems she borrowed a white umbrella from someone, and I wanted to thank them. Wasn't one of us. After you went out, Rosa, we changed room and continued our friendly chat the whole rest of the time. I love how they're like barely choosing to hide it from their kids. Like, it does seem like there is like at least a minimum of like, yeah, we all hate each other, but like the cousins are still fine with each other, and we don't want to fuck that up too bad.
Yeah, it's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Even after that, so siblings kept on with their friendly chat. I love how like Rudolph is clearly being sarcastic with Hideyoshi's like, no, we got a kayfabe. The word friendly fell awkwardly from Hideyoshi's lips, so even those that hadn't been there realized that it hadn't been a pleasant conversation. very least, it seems it certainly couldn't have been me, Ava, Rudolph, or even Hideyoshi or Kirie-san. We were together the whole time, even after Natsuhi-Nisan and Rosa-san left. The whole time until the meal started. Nisan went up to the study with Chenzu-san to call father. At that time, the rest of us went straight to the dining hall. So it wasn't one of us. For consideration like running an umbrella, wouldn't it be one of the servants? So, Goda-san, I've been in the kitchen the whole time preparing. I like how he's like, are you stupid? Like, there's like this aura of like, are you fucking stupid?
Mm-hmm. He's literally the chef.
My sincere apologies. Goda looks slightly disappointed about missing his chance to show off. That time, Shannon and Kumasawa appeared, pushing a serving cart loaded with hors d'oeuvre. Perhaps it was Kumasawa-san or Shannon-chan. I'm sorry? Have I made some mistake? Oh, she is traumatized today. This poor woman. No, it was Beatrice, dipshit. Trunks mistakenly thinking that she's been accused of making some error, having come in part way. No, you haven't. When Maria-chan was alone in the rose garden, it started to rain. Someone gave her an umbrella. Auntie Rosa said she wanted to thank that person. It was Beatrice. Maria, her mouth a thin line, said the witch's name in a small voice. Auntie Rosa explained the situation once more. As she did, Kumasawa-san cackled. It wasn't us. Shana-san and I were preparing the rooms together, so we did not go outside. And we already know that Kanon didn't, so it's Genji or it's Beatrice.
It was Kinzo.
No. Even if he had been out there
in a dress and a blonde wig.
You know what? I was about to say there's no chance in hell, but like having heard that, I don't know. I'm kind of convinced. God. Yes. I apologize for not being able to help. Preparing the rooms? What do you mean by that? Because of this rain, I thought it would be difficult for all of the guests to return to the guest house, so I ordered the servants to prepare the guest rooms inside the mansion. Really? How thoughtful.
How fucking far is the guest house?
Far enough that you don't want to get in the rain. Rude. That's right, it would be rude to chase us outside in all this rain, wouldn't it? Yeah, so basically what they're doing is like, they're literally just like, yeah, it's like not that far, but also like imagine going outside in this shit.
Yeah, true.
Does a maid's boss demand that she push her boobs forward with her arms at all times? Yes. I would not be surprised. Or maybe that's just like the posture and it just happens to do that. Completely coincidentally. Or maybe Kumasawa taught her wrong as a joke and like she's just been working with it the entire time, because that seems like her.
Oh my god, I can definitely see that.
Yeah, she's like, oh, well, you have, as a maid, you have to be like this all the time, and just like, you gotta be like that. Far enough that Grandpappy can't hear his progeny squabbling, yeah. You know, he might be able to hear. I don't think he gives a shit one way or the other. Could you give it a rest? When you're doing maid work, you have to be ready to serve a volleyball at any times. Exactly.
I like the sprite of Shannon because it really looks like there's nothing in her head.
Yeah, there's just no mental, like, there's no spark up there. There's like, you knock on her forehead and you hear like a hollow noise. I love this girl, but this is the most brain dead sprite I've ever seen. Yes, we received the order from Madam, and I, Kumasawa-san, and Kanon-kun were preparing the rooms. Then it was time for dinner, and since we had received an order from Genji-sama to go to the guest house and call the children, Kanon-kun left on our behalf. Yes. In that case, did Kanon-san find Maria on the way to the guest house and hand her the umbrella? That's not it! The person who actually received the umbrella denied it. Rosa was troubled. All she wanted to do was give a word of thanks to the person who had lent the umbrella, but she couldn't find them. She had thought that asking like this with everyone gathered for dinner would work immediately. Then, Natsuhi-Nisan? Sorry, after my friendly conversation with everyone, my headache was so bad that I have been resting in my room. Therefore, I did not go outside. I love how much anger Maria has. Like, imagine you're like, yeah, it was Beatrice. It was the lady from the picture. And then everyone's like, you're fucking stupid. Who is it? Yeah. Everyone, who is it? No one could have done it? Crazy. And I'm like, it was the fucking witch! The cool witch from the portrait that I want to be when I grow up gave me a fucking umbrella. It was so cool. Oh, I'm thinking about that sprite. It's good. Yeah. No, there's some good. There's so many good Maria sprites. Like almost every one of her expressions are like gold. I have never seen a woman more ready to kill herself than Nazi here. It's the line under the eye, I think.
Yeah, she's so fucking tired, dude.
Therefore, I did not go outside. Then who? George could and the kids? That can't be right. No, it wasn't us. We were watching television in the guest house the whole time. Actually, we thought that Maria had just gone back to the mansion with you. When Canon came and asked whether Maria was with us. That was when we first realized she wasn't in the mansion. In the first place, with me, before lending her an umbrella, I had to grab her hand and pulled her under a roof. Rosa was completely baffled. One by one, the relatives and servants were claiming it wasn't them, even though it wasn't really something anyone would need to hide. With that, by process of elimination, the number of people it could have been wasn't large. Of course, it wasn't me. Right after it began raining, I visited Kinzo-san's room and have been playing with chess with him until now, so it can't have been Kinzo in a dress. Damn. You know, I was really pulling for that one.
Yeah.
Which means it also wasn't grandfather. Wait a sec, isn't this starting to get a bit wheeler? Who's left? Genji? Wait a second, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm searching for some culprit or anything. All I just want to do as his mother is thank the person who gave Maria an umbrella in the middle of this rain. She's like, I don't know why you guys are being so fucking weird about it, but like everyone has an alibi. Like everyone has a corroborated. It's not even that like they're like I didn't do it. They have a corroborated alibi.
Yeah, it's weird how they present it.
The only one who doesn't is like the chef, and even then like obviously he's been doing this the whole time. Giving an umbrella to a lawyer in the rain was something to be praised, not hidden. Despite that, no one raised their hand. Why? Everyone started whispering about how strange this got. Calm down, Rosa. Why don't we just ask the person who borrowed the umbrella? An idea that everyone would agree makes sense. They were all scratching their heads at why she didn't ask Maria, who had been given the umbrella. However, Rosa bit her lower lip. After all, she already knew how Maria would answer if asked. Of course, Rudolph-kun here's got it right. Maria-chan, tell your uncle. Who lent you the umbrella? She's like, finally someone's asking me. God damn! Beatrice! The tiny hole was wrapped in socks for an instant, but soon broken and all was wrapped in laughter. I know she's so pissed. I know she's losing her mind. She'd kill a man if she could.
Everyone in this room right now.
Genji could scale walls. You could have snuck away from the group as easily as a cyborg ninja. Hey, that ninja. I see. Beatrice, the Wizard of Force, felt pity and lent her an umbrella. What a nice story. Rosa, there you go. Rosa seemed satisfied. She just wanted to say thanks for the umbrella. Why did everything have to be so clouded in smoke? Yeah, just like Uncle Klaus said. Beatrice lent it to me. I can like hear the like. I can't. But like Krauss in his mind is like, haha, Rosa, your daughter is mentally slow.
God, yeah, you can definitely tell by his expression too.
He's just like, oh, it's so fucking funny. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, innocent, such an enviable thing. Don't you all agree? Ross was laughing with a face that was clearly mocking her. What a detestable man. I
know, I hate this guy.
But Maria, apparently feeling that her claim was being believed, was overjoyed. What's going on? Jessica, your father is making fun of a family member who's developmentally challenged.
He is literally holding this over, like, obviously probably his least favorite sibling.
Yeah, it's like, crazy. See, I'm still thinking about how crazy it was that, like, she just, like, kept going. Like, he just kept going on her. She was like, I'm not going to stop hating. I'm not going to stop putting the ball in your court despite you being completely unprepared. Another Trump parallel. God damn it. Yeah, you're right. I still think a lot about that one time that like Trump did that one fucking hand gesture when he was talking about this reporter that was like reporting on him, where she was like oh, and then he was like did that fucking hand motion that makes fun of people who like have developmental like challenges.
Yeah.
Fucking what a. Anyways, don't tell me that a witch really appeared and lent her an umbrella. Jessica asked me in a small voice that wouldn't carry over to Maria, who was sitting across from me. Has Maria ever been the type to joke? No. we had heard that kind of story pop up out of that old bastard's mouth, we would have just taken it as another joke. However, coming from Maria's mouth, it came somewhat inexplicable, strangely unsettling. No way. She's always been frank and serious. Hasn't she always just swallowed up jokes that were supposed to be obvious lies? I never even heard of her cracking a joke. Auntie Rosa probably knew that better than anyone. It appeared because of this weird situation, she had no idea what was going on anymore. So if Maria says that she borrowed an umbrella from Beatrice, that definitely was Beatrice. We're talking about Maria here, so I can't imagine it was some kind of metaphor or joke. Might have been best to take what she says at face value. Like, I love how, like, Jessica and Battler are, like, the first person to be like, actually, you know what? It probably was, actually.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we should take that. And what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, they're both so unsettled.
Are you saying the Genji sound or someone put on that fancy dress? They're like, yeah! Battler, you know what? Battler, you're alright. You're also on the Enzo in a dress and a wig route. Yeah. Let's fucking go. What a guy. I said, you know what? You have been forgiven for all your fucking boob comments. Actually, that's what I want to know. Jessica shrugged jokingly, but her expression was completely joking. Creepy. Once the hors d'oeuvres were set out, Kota showed off his vast store of knowledge, and meal began. A couple casual chats broke out here and there, but they seemed somehow distant. It was a quiet dinner, granting no respite from the intrusive sound of rain that was creeping into the dining hall. I want Beatrice to kick down the doors and be like, "Hey, motherfuckers! Kinzo's dead!" Kumasawa and Shannon, pushing the serving cart, ran to Genji and Cannon on the way to the kitchen. Were you the one who lent Maria-sama an umbrella?
Oh my god, the family tea!
Yeah! Okay, so it's no... What the hell are you talking... What are you talking about? Right. I heard that it would start raining. Maria-sama was alone in the rose garden. It seemed like she borrowed an umbrella from someone there. But we don't know who it was. It wasn't me. After all, I thought Maria-sama was in the guest house. Battler-sama first found her. She was already holding a white umbrella. It was not me either. And you don't think it was the master, possibly? Everyone, both in the dining hall and the place where they were now standing, stated it wasn't them. Only Kinzo was left, but like I love how the unspoken question of like, Kinzo's son wouldn't spit on his children or grandchildren if they were burning to death in front of him.
Mm-hmm. He would rather they die.
Yeah, he maybe went walking down the corridors for some reason, but when by coincidence he saw Maria-sama in the rose garden without even an umbrella. The master does not particularly like Maria-sama.
Damn.
I agree. I can't imagine that just for Maria he would trouble himself to go all the way down the stairs to carry an umbrella to her directly. Oh my, how troublesome. Hey, Dagger. You haven't missed too much. Basically, like, Maria had an umbrella in the rain. She says it came from Beatrice. Everyone's like, haha, oh, she's so silly. But then no one has given her, like, everyone checked with everyone else. And, like, yeah, everyone has corroborated alibis for, like, they would not have been able to have been the one who, like, gave Maria an umbrella. And everyone's, like, kind of freaked out now. And that's basically all you missed.
I love
So that means So that means that the one who lent Maria-sama an umbrella really was Beatrice-sama. I love how, like, Kumasawa is, like... She's, like, laughing and treating it as a joke, but I can tell that she's also, like... She's maybe actually just serious.
Like she believes.
Yeah, she's like, oh, huh. Kumasawa-san laughed, just like I don't know why I keep adding san to the end of her name, maybe because we just said it so many times. Kumasawa laughed, just like the relatives in the dining hall laughed it off. She couldn't think of any other way to break through the smoke veiling the current situation. Just then, Chris found her hands clapping twice, running through the hallway. I'll turn around at once to see it was Goto, who was coming out of the dining hall. Chop chop, everyone! When serving a dinner, it's essential to make sure the dishes are served with the proper timing. Please immediately see to setting out the soup. Genji-san, the women are in the middle of an important job, so please don't get in their way. He's an asshole, but, like, I mean... Listen, I wouldn't fuck with a chef when he's in the middle of doing his job, especially like one as apparently as talented as Kinzo. I mean, or Genji, or not Genji. Fucking what was his name? Goda. Kanon glared at Goda for being rude to Genji, a person Kanon respected. Genji, realizing this, patted Kanon on the shoulders, to warn him. Kanon reluctantly turned away and returned his expression to normal. Gonzo, thank you. Obey Goda's order. Let us now hurry to prepare the dinner table. Once again. He's not wrong in this situation. Like, he's an asshole, certainly. And, like, he's very, very condescending. But, like, I mean, listen, you don't fuck with a chef when he's in the kitchen. Come on, we have no time. Don't just dawdle around. Hurry! Go to grab the serving cart from Shannon and drove it past her, heading towards the kitchen at pace. And please allow us to return to the kitchen. After all, Goda-san's patience is very short. Please excuse me. Please excuse me as well. Kumasawa-san and Shannon left. Only Genji and Kenan remained. Through the window, the darkness of the rainy night could be seen along with the occasional thunderbolt.
Hell's halls.
Genji-sama. Has Beatrice-sama really returned? I don't know. Should we inform the master? There's no need. If she truly has returned, she will eventually appear before the master of her own accord. I love how they're just like, okay, yeah, she's real.
Yeah.
Furthermore, she is a fickle person. It would be pointless to report to the master only to find out she does not appear. Yeah, he would just kill himself, I think. Like, he would immediately kill himself.
He'd be so fucking pissed off at them.
I wonder if this means the master's ritual has already begun. Probably. However, that has nothing to do with furniture like us. We must return the favor we received from the master until our final moments. What the fuck do they have over these guys? Yes, it's furniture. That is our duty. What's really fucked up is like Shannon went to school. Like, Ganon went to school.
Yeah.
Like, they have outside influences.
They're like real people.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's
they don't
called
believe
professional
that.
pride. It's called professional pride. Except for that one instant when the lightning lit up the sky, all that could be seen outside the window was the darkness of night. Just as humans rule when the sun is up. The time when the sun is down is ruled by those who are not human.
Let's go!
The darkness of night was now surrounded Rokunjima, was ruled not by the Ushiromiya family, but by another master. This master take pity on Maria when she was alone and humbled by the rain in the Rose Garden and lend her an umbrella? Obviously, because that's how we're gonna get Maria just the most firmly on Beatrice's side out of literally anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think, like, I don't know if Kinzo is gonna be more on, like, Beatrice's side than Maria. It's crazy. Kenan looked through the rose. I mean, well, Kinzo's dead, so I mean, it doesn't matter. But Kenan looked through the rose garden's light, dimly visible behind the window. The dim lights were not enough to illuminate the surrounding area. Looking at those lights felt like making eye contact with the witch, and Kenan forcibly averted his gaze. He didn't. It felt like his eyes would be absorbed by that light. So I definitely think that the rose disappearing meant that, like, hey, it's Beatrice time now. Like, they have, like, left, like, the real world and have, like, transcended into, like, Beatrice's realm or something like that.
It's Beatrice time.
Perhaps the weather was also a factor. You often hear stories about how things like the atmospheric pressure can influence people's mood and physical health. For some time now, everyone had been making periodic attempts to clear the gloomy atmosphere, but any conversation was quickly cut off, and in the end, the dining hall was simply buried by the sound of the rain. Dessert was some kind of chocolate cake, accompanied by pear sherbet. That sounds fucking delicious. Goda-san enthusiastically explained the recipe as if delivering the coup de grace, but I quickly forgot the details. I'm stupid. The guest of honor, grandfather, was absent. The weather was horrible, and the person who lent Maria the umbrella was still a mystery. When dinner ended, no one even felt a bit refreshed. It was too late now, but I realized painfully that the taste wasn't the only important part of a meal. The whole atmosphere was also critical. Goda-san, the supposed conductor of this performance called dinner, did his best to enliven the place, dropping little jokes left and right, but it seems like they didn't quite get there. Yeah, I mean, listen, he's trying his best. I like, weirdly, like, sound, like, very sympathetic Goda. I still hate his ass. I just, okay.
Everyone's in, like, an obvious position.
Yeah. After taking orders for an after dinner coffee, tea, and orange juice, he left for the kitchen. As soon as he disappeared, Uncle Krau spoke. My, a truly irksome this dinner, which Goda worked so hard to create, has been so poorly received. Yeah, seriously. Feels like nothing would taste good today. It's just that kind of mood. Ooh. I would love to hear why you feel that way. Sometime later, allow me, as your older brother, to help cheer you up. What the fuck does that? Yeah, what the fuck does that mean? Auntie Eva grimaced slightly. I had already heard that she was not on good terms with the house, but now I could clearly feel it. When I looked around, I noticed my dad and Auntie Rosa were also grimacing. Anyhow, it looked like there was something besides the weather that was troubling all of them. Auntie Eva and my dad, they both look like they're in a bad mood. Really? I don't think so.
Right, Natsuki's stuck with all the kids.
Yeah, and as Natsuki was sitting on my right, but it looked like she was also in a bad mood. She snapped back as though she was absolutely not interested. Well, our adult conversation got a little complicated. You know what? Give it up to Hideyoshi for trying to pull it through. Like,
Yep.
You can
I
say
love
what
this
you
man.
will. You can say what you will about his business practices or the fact that he was trying to like blackmail Krause like everyone else. But like that man knows how to like try to keep the kids out of that. And I can respect that. It's not something like kids like you need to worry about, Bather-kun. Alright, Natsuhi-san, Kirie-san? Uncle Hideyoshi laughed as he spoke, but without his usual brightness. So I could vaguely imagine just how complicated their conversation had actually become. On top of that, even Natsuhi and Kirie-san, the people he directed his comment to, ignored him as though he hadn't heard anything.
Damn.
I didn't know what kind of conversation. Yeah, Kirie should have at least like tried to back him up a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what kind of conversation they had been having while we kids were away, but it reminded me of how Dad had said he'd stomach cramps whenever he arrived at the mansion. Family conference might have been a playful reunion to us kids, but it was definitely different for the adults. After Uncle Hideyoshi was ignored by the other adults, an awkward silence fell over the room. Kirie-san spoke up. We were talking about how the kids' careers would turn out. Jesus!
Girl!
Like, that's maybe is not the context you want to put this in when, like, everything's so clearly fucked. Yeah, we were talking about how the kids' careers would turn out, and it turns out every one of you fuckers are awful except for George. You guys are all gonna die penniless. What will you do in the future, Bather-kun? Just drift on to college? Wouldn't that be a little disheartening as a starting lineup for the long race of life? Hey, wait a sec! Kirie-san, if you start talking about something like that in the middle of a meal, it won't digest well, and we'll all get constipated, right? He's trying. That joke was horrendous. That's right. We were talking about Bather-kun and Jessica Chan's careers. You can't take the future too seriously. Hideyoshi heartily agreed, as if they really had been talking about that, but they probably hadn't. Kirie-san had obviously been trying to avoid talking about something. However, if Kirie-san had determined this was the best course of action for now, she was probably right. I do like that she's like very just like in the background, but like super competent. Like, she's not doing a whole lot, but you can tell she's got the finger on the pulse. Taking this into account, I decided to cast my suspicions as to the cause behind. I decided to cast aside my suspicions as to the cause behind Auntie Ava's and Dad's bad mood.
It's easy. They hate their older brother.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Just look at him. Like, you look at him for 1 second, you're like, this guy sucks. At long last, the serving cart returned, filled with coffee and tea. Kumasawa-san and Shonen-chan served it to everyone. Oda-san then explained that, with this tonight's dinner was over. If I had been able to eat in a more cheerful mood, it might have been the best dinner of my life. It was a shame that this greatest of dinners couldn't have been had under the greatest of conditions. Oh, Giorgio-ni-chan, is dinner over now? Over? Is dinner over? Over?
Over?
Yes, we're all done now. Over. That's not ladylike. Stay in your seat and calmly drink up. Well, Maria looked like she was really excited about the occasionally crashing thunder. Maybe she wanted to quickly finish eating and run to the window. She'd been fidgeting for a while, waiting for the meal to end. Some people are afraid of thunder, so all others find it interesting. Maria was apparently one of the latter. Good for her. So when she overheard George Aniki that dinner was over, a huge smile broke out across her face. She then stood up from her seat, took out her handbag, which she had set under her seat, never having left it even while she was eating, and began fishing around inside of it. No one seemed particularly concerned with this behavior. What's that? She pulls out a gun!
Oh my god!
Where'd you get it? George was the first to notice it. As he smoked, Badler also noticed it. Oh, okay, well, I thought for a second it was actually going to be a weapon. I was going to lose my mind, but this may be worse, actually. When they looked, they noticed that Maria was now holding a beautiful Western-style envelope. In front of the envelope, the Ushiromiya family crest, the one-winged eagle, was in gold leaf. Furthermore, it was sealed with a dark red wax, imbuing a level of class upon it that made it clear that this was not something Maria should have been carrying around for fun. Give Maria a gun. Yeah, I agree. Maria-chan, what is that? See, Nazi was also noticed the strangeness of the envelope that Maria was holding. I mean, I'm assuming this is part of the process that gets everyone killed. So yeah, probably actually worse than a gun. Because her voice sounded so serious as to be admonishing a small child, the other relatives around her finally noticed.
It's the JoJo Bizarre Adventure gun.
Yeah. Yeah, she opens it up and the gun comes out. Yeah. Oh, what a perfect fun. I love JoJo so much. Where else are you gonna get shit like that? Where else are you gonna get shit like that? God, part 4 was so good. Anyways, what's up, Natsuhini-san? What is that? Maria, where'd you pick that up? That envelope has Kinzo-san's... As Nacho muttered that, even us kids could understand why everyone seemed to be frozen solid. The envelope that Maria held was one of the Ushiro-miya family's custom-made envelopes for private use. In other words, it could only mean one thing. The envelope contained a message from Kinzo. Oh, what is an envelope like that doing here? It looks like something unusual, interesting has jumped out of us. Just let me have a peek. Ugh, no, I'm reading it. Maria, you're so good. I love you so much. I was told to read it to everyone. Uncle Hideyoshi tried to snatch the envelope out of Maria's hands, but she protected it as though hugging it and didn't let go. Good. Hideyoshi, you're down a point for this. Calm down.
Yeah.
Hideyoshi Nissan, you shouldn't take something from a child with brute force. Yeah, Kyrie! Maria-chan, where'd you get this envelope? Ugh, got it from Beatrice when she gave me the umbrella. She told me to read it to everyone after the meal was over. That's why she was so excited.
Yep.
She was like, "You, which letter? Which letter? I'm the witch's messenger." Messenger? The witch of Adler sure likes to mess around. Adler tried to joke about it. Adler tried to joke about it, but no one went along with him. I mean, like, I do appreciate that, like, no, he's right, though. Like, I can tell that Beatrice is, like, the type of lady to, like, no, she enjoys fucking around a little bit.
Let them finish their dialogue, you bitch.
I wonder what's written inside of it. Maria-chan? Ooh, reading. Maria casually opened the envelope. It was sealed with only sealed with wax, so you just had to remove the sealing wax to open it. That sealing wax fell onto the desk. Hideyoshi hastily picked it up and stared fixedly at it. He then set it in the center of the table, and Natsuhi, Kyrie, and Nanjo glared at it. Imprinted there in the sealing wax was a one-winged eagle, excuse me. Listen, I'm thinking... You get used to one-winged angel for, like, years talking about FF7 and Sephiroth and shit, and you start seeing one-winged eagle, and it's, like, close enough that you're just like, yeah, you just auto-complete that. Which was the Ushiro-miya family crest, and also Kinzo's personal crest.
And also ad time.
Yeah, I'll wait. Like, if we get to the point where, like, Maria's going to start to read it, I'll go ahead and, like, stop for a little bit. But I'm going to keep going up until that point. This is the family head's personal crest. I know, because I have received letters from Kinzo-san before. Without a doubt, this is Kinzo-san's wax seal. But in this mansion, couldn't there be several identical seals? For example, if there was some kind of stamp for wax seals, couldn't somebody other than Kinzo-san have sealed it? No, Kinzo-san would always use a ring on his finger, the proof of the Ushiro-miya family headship when he sealed the wax. Oh, so when he tossed it out, Beatrice got it. Okay. This shape and complex design is definitely Kinzo-san's seal. That is not necessarily so. Anyone in the family must have received a letter from Dad at least once. We can't eliminate the possibility that someone, using the wax as a model, created a fake seal to pass himself off his father. This is a little bit... Yeah, this is, like, listen, you gotta, like... There's a Gordian knot here. You gotta, yeah. I agree with Aniki. No matter how the seal resembles Dad's, we can't prove that it is the real thing. Therefore, it doesn't prove that this envelope came from Dad. I feel the same way. I cannot approve of arbitrarily deciding this is Father's letter only by the seal and the wax. Dr. Nanja, would you mind refraining from speaking such vague words? Ava, calm down.
Damn. Everyone's so
I apologize.
about this shit.
I said too much. One after another, all the siblings from Kraus on downward rejected Nanjo's statement saying that the envelope that Maria was holding had not necessarily been sent by Kinzo. They were afraid. Kinzo's intentions were written in there, and they feared from the bottom of their hearts that it might have been some decidedly unfavorable announcement regarding the inheritance. Maria, the person who gave you that envelope was the same person who lent you that umbrella, right? Yeah. I don't know what "ooh" means.
God.
Is it true? Yeah, yes. So in other words, the witch, Beatrice, gave you that envelope along with the umbrella?
Bruh, that's what she just said.
Maria nodded forcefully. I agree with my husband. Shocking everyone, Natsuhi. I can't believe you would agree with Kraus. What a change of pace. What a fucking... What a drastic stance you've taken. It is a dubious letter handed over by some suspicious person. It's not even worth reading. Fucking what? Oh, go on. What's the worst that could happen, right? Battler, no!
You're so terrible. Oh my god, this is a great screenshot.
I'm taking
the screenshot for you.
Yeah, I'm taking this. I'm also taking the screenshot. What a wonderful fucking screenshot. Battler said it to Jessica in a small voice, pretending to stir things up, but Natsuhi clearly heard him clearly and glared at him with threatening eyes. Ah, shut up, you old bat. And then Beatrice told you to read it after the meal was over, right? Ugh. I don't know what "ooh" means. It's so fucking like, Jesus Christ, Rosa. Rein it in for like 2 seconds. You just abandoned your daughter in the typhoon. Be nice. Yeah. Why not, everyone? This isn't grandfather's envelope. It's Beatrice's. Kyrie doesn't know how right she is. Who cares who wrote it? Can't we just hear what's inside before passing judgment? They're like, no, but what if it says something I'm gonna not like because of money? That's right. Even if father didn't necessarily write it, I'm still concerned about its content. Maria-chan, I'm sorry I tried to take it to you by force earlier. I apologize. So will you read it aloud in front of everyone? Hideyoshi, okay, you're coming back up a little bit. I'm still judging you for that point.
He's so desperate, though.
He is super desperate. Maria, read it. Woo. As all the relatives stared fiercely at Maria, she spread open the letter with a rustle. Do you think it really is Dad's letter? Impossible! Whenever father has announced something to us from the past, if he didn't do it directly, he would always send Genji-san, right? I'm not gonna do this voice, I just wanted to see how that felt.
Yeah, no problem.
I can't believe he would use such a joke-like approach. That's right. Maria, a messenger. That's seriously not his style. Rosa, this must be Maria-chan trying to surprise us with some kind of hidden talent, right? The fuck? This mansion is rigged to blow. Goodbye. Maria's not a kid capable of something so clever. You don't understand. My daughter's autistic. Reading. Ooh. The words came out of Maria's mouth, but for some reason it felt like her voice was different from usual. Everyone went suddenly silent. Oh, it is. Welcome to Rokkenjima, ladies and gentlemen of the Ushiromiya family. I am Beatrice. I am Beatrice, the alchemist for this family, under the employ of Kinzo-sama. That's absurd!
I love music.
Quiet! I have served him for many years in accordance with our contract, but today Kinzo-san has announced the termination of that contract. Therefore, I ask of you to acknowledge my resignation from the position of family alchemist as of today. How foolish.
So well for someone
what nonsense.
Messenger before.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I'm clear, like, I'm part of me is like, oh, this is magic. Part of that's magic. I can't stand to listen to it. Shut up. You guys suck so fucking bad. I don't know how Jessica turned out as well as she did.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely shocked. She should be so much more fucked. And now there is one part of the contract that I must explain to you all. I, Beatrice, lend Kinzo-sama a vast quantity of gold under certain terms. One of those terms specifies that all the gold is to be returned to me upon the termination of the contract. Furthermore, I am to receive everything of the Ushiromiya family as interest. Ridiculous. It's been ridiculous from the very beginning. So it's basically one of those things, right? Just like one of those contracts with the devil you always hear about. Like, I love how Battler is like, he's just like he's rolling with the punches incredibly. But I know he's gonna be like, magic's bullshit later. And the contract has expired, so she's to come to collect the interest. Is she trying to grab some retirement money for her old age or something? What a cheeky witch. Battler-kun, now is not the time to joke around. He's like, nah, come on, George, come on. Battler made a face as if I can't make fun of this, what can I make fun of?
No. That's real.
At the same time, some of the adults' faces were pale, while others looked completely shocked. After hearing this, you may feel as though Kinzo-sama has been savagely ruthless. However, Kinzo-sama did append a special clause to the contract so that you would have a chance to preserve your wealth and honor. If, and only if, this special clause is fulfilled, I will lose my rights to the gold and the interest for all eternity. A special clause? What is it? Special clause! Beatrice has the right to collect the gold and accumulated interest upon termination of the contract. The Santa Claus, you're right. However, if someone is able to discover the hidden gold of this contract, Beatrice must abandon all these rights for all time. Collection of the interest will proceed shortly, but if any one of you fulfills the terms of this special clause, I shall return everything, including the portion that has already been collected. Oh, that she has collected. Okay, I see. Furthermore, as the first step of this collection of Kinzo-sama's debt, I have taken possession of the Ushiromiya family's heirs wing, which signifies passage of the Ushiromiya family headship from one individual to another. I ask that you confirm this for yourself by examining the imprint on the wax seal. You want me to accept this as real? That Dad would relinquish his ring is unthinkable. Yeah, no, he tossed that shit out the window like an hour ago. Krauss was staring at the ceiling wax as though he was trying to burn a hole through it. Ava and Rudolph were doing the same thing over his shoulder. Over his shoulder?! I saw the exclamation point. I had to emphasize. I did have the odd feeling that something was missing from Kinzo-san's finger when we were playing chess!
Nacho, you gotta shut up, bro.
Nacho, you're not helping! They're gonna kill you, man! Don't say something so careless just because of a vague memory. God, you suck so bad. I felt bad for her. She's so fucking neurotic and just like a giant bitch. And like,
yep.
Her husband sucks. I'm sorry. You don't gotta be like this. We can't prove its authenticity here. The question of whether Father really has handed it over his ring and whether the letter details the truth, we can determine simply by asking him directly. That's right. It's just as Kyrie-san says. Once again, Kyrie-san is like one of the few people in this room with their head on their shoulders.
Literally.
Well, now, I wonder, will Kinzo-san answer you? After all, that person's thoughts are sometimes impossible to predict using common sense. Just have Nancho go in, do a fucking chess move, and walk back out. The fuck? Dead is a dead guy. Dabbity-doo dead. Dabbity-doop-doop dead. And again, this does not leave the realm of nonsense. First place, the realm of fiction of the gold is itself a deception by Father. You want to talk about non-existent gold, leave me out of it. But you heard what the witch is saying, right? About how the headship and all of the assets will be handed over to the one who finds the gold? So could this mean that Beatrice-sama is the Father's legal advisor and maybe in charge of his funds? Once again, the extent these people are willing to listen to something that somebody says and be like, but what if I twisted it to mean this one thing that would be really good for me?
They're very attached to reality.
Yes. I mean, that's what happens when you're rich. We can't possibly trust the kind of strange person that would trust such a suspicious paper to a child. Aniki, time for you to open up. Is it possible that someone you don't know is actually handling Dad's assets? No, that's impossible. As the agent of the head, I have total knowledge of all of Father's assets. There shouldn't be anyone who could manipulate them without me knowing it. Then there must be some assets you do not have full knowledge of, mustn't there, Kraus Nissan? No! It's the witch! It's just a witch! Absurd! There's no such thing. Oh, yes, there is. One asset of Father's that you know nothing about. There's no way something like that exists. No, it does. That'd be Father's. No, Beatrice's whole hidden gold. I love how Hideyoshi's also yeah, fuck it, whatever, we'll roll with this.
Yep.
Let's put things in order. In short, Dad has some trusted confidant that not even Aniki knows about. Furthermore, this person has always been in charge of watching and managing the gold. It's possible this person is a dilettante of a very rich family who provided finance in the first place through a mock devil's contract. For fuck's sake. The willful ignorance is crazy. Could it be that this confidant, this Beatrice-san, is trying to test which of the sons and daughters is most fitting to be financed by her gold? No! No! That's not what this is! What Kyrie said was something all the siblings wanted clarified. Upon reflection, they realized that during Kinzo-san's strange epitaph had been displayed in the hall beneath the portrait of the witch. They had always been whispered that the one who solved the puzzle would receive everything, yet no one had ever clearly stated it. It was just something that everyone had hoped might be true. You know this is true. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yet had right here, right now, been clearly expressed by Beatrice's letter. It clearly specified that everything in the Yoshiromiya families would be given to the one who found the gold. Kinzo-sama has already publicly displayed the location of the hidden gold within the epitaph under my portrait. The rules apply equally to all who can read the epitaph. Sorry, Maria. Oh, wait, no, she can read it. She wrote it down and everything.
Yeah.
If you discover the gold, I shall return everything to you. Tonight, I ask that you enjoy your battle of wits with Kinzo-sama to the fullest. I sincerely pray that this night will be both intellectual and elegant. Beatrice the Golden.
I love music.
Yeah. Father, I know you can hear me. Please respond. The door to Kinzo's study was being violently beaten against over and over again, but like a percussion instrument. The screams coming from the other side were Carl's, Rudolph's, and sometimes Ava's voices. It was the siblings who were trying to intrude upon Kinzo's study to question him about the truth and the mysterious letter. Kinzo was eating. An elegant tablecloth was set over the desk, and the fabulous dinner that colored the table down in the dining hall was once again laid out. Kinzo considered his meal in silence. Shannon, taking away an empty plate, looked uncomfortably between the door and being beaten on in Kinzo's face. Everyone's calling for you, but what would you like me to do? Leave it. God values silence, and so do I during dinner. Should I kill them? Should I silence them? There's no need. It does not even reach my ears. Kinzo coolly tasted his food. Genji quietly lowered his head and took a single step back. As he did, Kanon, who stood in reserve like a shadow behind to the side of Genji, opened his mouth. Man, everyone's here! Goddamn!
Yeah.
I don't understand how he is.
House.
I don't understand how he's alive. By all logical sense, he should be dead right now. Maria-sama seems to have received a letter from Beatrice-sama, so I assume that they went to verify its authenticity. That daredevil, she's started already. Come, Beatrice. There's nothing lacking in the coins that have been wagered. Shall we enjoy this night to its fullest? I have no intention of losing. Your smile is mine for all eternity. Sorry, dog. If I could see it just one more time, I wouldn't regret losing my wealth, my honor, or even my life. Well then, the roulette has begun to spin. Which pocket shall the ball fall into? Or rouge? Just say black and red, you dipshit, you fucking weeb, you Westaboo. Or house takes all. Come, you may begin, Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Oh, weeaboo. Yes, thank you. I'll show you the power of miracles once more. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, where's the next Xbox?
Let's go.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's now 10 o'clock. Strange letter that the witch had entrusted to Maria had been wiped out. Had wiped all memories of dinner from our minds. We had been repeatedly barraged with questions by Auntie Rosa and the other parents. I was now in the worst of tempers because no one would believe her. Even when kids tried to talk to her, she would just ignore us. Our parents were all stirred up over the goal, firing back and forth the even distribution of assets, completely forgetting what we showed when we were there. Even though I'd already figured out that they'd been talking about this in the shadows, never thought they'd be this blunt about it. And at least to us kids, it was a considerable shock. From what we could overhear, all of our parents wanted as much money as possible, as soon as possible. Back and forth about grandfather's inheritance. Back and forth about the distribution of gold if it was found, without advance payments in cash. It was so despicable I couldn't bear to watch, even though one of them was my dad. It looked like Jessica felt the same way. We left our seats, although no one had asked us to leave, and went to hang out somewhere apart from the parents. I see. So now I really understand why Grandfather didn't want to show his face during meals. So disillusioned with our parents right now. The money, the inheritance. How could they act like this right out in the open? Well, I'm already completely disillusioned with that old bastard. I really want to know what the fuck happened 6 years ago. There's no way I could think any worse of him. And you think I'm not? Yes, I actually do. But even so, that freaking shocked me. Shocked me at the bottom of my heart. Jessica looked down at the floor, irritated. She was always talking about how bad her parents were, but maybe she hadn't really felt that way deep inside. I could realize that from the depth of Jessica's shock. You are both minors and still being brought up by your parents, so you might not understand. But getting money is neither a simple nor a pretty thing. You're still minors, so I won't try to force you to understand right now. But I'd like you to realize that your parents are just doing their best in their own way. George, I get it. I get what you're trying to do here. You are trying to justify people being jackals. Oh, great. George Anaki's gotten all mature. I know you're working hard as a full-fledged member of society, but doesn't that mean that when the conversation turns to money and assets and stuff, you're capable of turning into a shameless, greedy vulture like our dads? If it would just be about me, then no, I wouldn't want to do that. However, when your family and your employees, your subordinates and their families are all counting on you, there are some times when you need to fight. I don't know. It really does seem like, from what I remember about most of their things, is that it doesn't really seem like it's any of their employees that are like going to be suffering. It's just mostly them.
Shit deal.
I hate that kind of fight. That back and forth about grandfather's inheritance makes me want to puke. Jessica pretended to spit violently. That harsh reaction made the depths of her pain very clear. Let's stop talking about this. All this about grandfather's hidden gold, about property inheritance is our parents' problem, not ours. I agree. At the very least, I think that being considerate and staying out of the parents' way when they're talking is the duty of the children. Where's the fun in that? Everyone knows the phrase "adults are filthy," but we had now seen that for ourselves, and that really did give us a shock. George Anaki was now pretty much an adult, so I'd already been disillusioned with my dad in the first place. So the shock wasn't as big for us. But it looked like it was different for Jessica. It looked like the shock that Jessica had received was even bigger than I had thought. This girl, she was always talking about or badly about her parents, but it looked like she hadn't changed at all on the inside since long ago. Even now, she was a pure-hearted and delicate person who couldn't doubt others. I'm sure she respected her parents about as much as anyone else does. And then her parents started joining in with all the other parents right in front of us children, going, money, money, inheritance, inheritance, my money. So it was no surprise that the shock of hearing that was so big. Jessica-chan? Please don't start hating your mother and father. I won't ask you to understand them, but at least don't hate them. I get it. Just leave me alone for a bit. 6 years ago, I would have further taunted the dejected Jessica, but even I have grown up over the past 6 years. I don't believe that, but okay. I realized that it would be better to leave Jessica as she was right now. Jessica suddenly looked away sulkily and left the parlor. Probably wanted to be left alone for a while. I could do nothing but wordlessly watch her back as she left. Come to think of it, I wonder where Maria-chan went. She probably went to go hang out with Beatrice. She's probably still huddled up on the floor in front of the portrait. Maria, who truly looked up to witches, had expected that coming in direct contact with Beatrice and receiving the letter as proof would be an event that would surprise everyone and make them happy. However, the adults had doubted its authenticity, had not taken Maria's story at face value, and had thoroughly bombarded her with questions. Even I didn't find it hard to imagine how much that must have hurt Maria. We couldn't speak to either Maria or Jessica. In the end, George, Anaki, and I just abandoned ourselves to the sound of the falling rain in that dark night. Wonder what's happening with that typhoon. Maybe there's some news. George Anaki walked over to the corner of the parlor where the television was. He hadn't called me over, so I couldn't really cared less what the typhoon was on the sea now. I didn't go over to the television, but instead loitered around the window. Wind doesn't pick up that much here, but I wonder if it's horrible over the sea. Did hear from the weather report that there was a severe storm warning. Ah, Kirie-san. How's it going with your adults? Lots to talk about? Looked like she caught the sarcasm. Kirie-san shrugged. That stomachache of a discussion could continue all night. It's very tiring. Now all I can say is I hope you enjoy playing vultures with grandfather property to your heart's content. I really do, like, I really do like how it's like, at first you're like, it's like, oh, that old bastard, and you're like, oh, he's like a shonen protagonist who kind of hates his dad a little bit, but like, I mean, they care about each other deep down. Like, no, he just like really doesn't give a shit about his dad and like really hates him. Like this is like genuine. This is like having an argument that's like really should be affecting him, but he's like completely unfazed. He's like, yeah, I know that old bastard's like the fucking worst. I know what he's capable of. Yeah.
I always do find it entertaining that he seems to get along with Kirie. It's like very well. Kirie.
I think they get along pretty well. It's just that like I don't know. It feels like they're on completely separate ends of like a spectrum from each other, I guess. like they're both kind of outsiders in their own way, but like they're outsiders for very different reasons, and they have different like kind of feelings about like the family itself, so they can bond over that, but there's still like that distance between them, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that'll like that impression will change after like we figure out what happened 6 years ago. But I'll agree with you on that. Sorry, what was that?
I wish I had French fries.
Good. I'm glad I didn't miss that.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you on that. If I could just slip away like you, I would do it. Unfortunately, I can't. Even if I'm not allowed to speak, it's not easy being a partner, you know. Kyrie-san sighed, smiling bitterly. Well, yeah, I probably wouldn't let Kyrie-san, who married into the family, speak. Still, as Dad's partner, she had no choice but to stay by his side and support him. Being in that line of fire, she must have been having to bear a far greater mental pressure than me. Wasn't going to apologize, but realizing I had spoken too harshly, I cut the sarcasm for the time being. So how's it look? They still stuck on the topic of the mysterious witch, Beatrice? More or less. They had been piling up the secret agreements for some time, hoping for some kind of agreement between the four of them on the distribution of grandfather's inheritance after his death. And now some unknown fifth person has appeared to make things more complicated, so there's no way that it'll make for a peaceful conversation. Lord, I need that. One moment they're snarling at each other, and the next they'll set up a common front. Natsuhi's Nisan's not the only one getting headaches. On the other hand, they all wanted a larger portion than the other siblings, so they were all rivals. But on the other hand, they didn't want 1 yen to be snatched up by anyone other than the siblings, so they were also all allies. I couldn't get her to tell me the details, but they were apparently arguing on and on about their ceasefire agreement and rules to prevent anyone from getting ahead. Situations under which their portions would be protected and what legal measures would be taken in a worst-case scenario. By this point, my emotions have shot straight past disgust, and now I perceive them as a force to be reckoned with. So, basically, Beatrice is like a saboteur sent by grandfather. He probably wanted to scare the hell out of his children just for talking about the distribution of the inheritance without him. Who is this Beatrice, I wonder? She is who she says she is, so she's a mystery no one knew about until today. She also knows about the existence of grandfather's hidden gold. Furthermore, she was even entrusted with the head's ring. She must have truly been trusted by him. Well, obviously, I don't think she's a witch riding around on a broom. You should. But surely she's a person mysterious enough to merit being called a witch. I hope that Maria-chan will go into more detail about that. Even though she's just a little girl, everyone's been chewing her up over this. They really scared her, now we can't even ask her things she might have answered. Wonder if those people have even read The North Wind and the Sun. What is for certain is that Maria received a letter from the person who took the name Beatrice. Entrusting Maria with a letter and hiding away for now when she could have just appeared and talked to us directly. She's sure shy for a mystery person. Hey, Battler-kun, do you think that someone called Beatrice actually exists? Who knows? It's probably a false name, right? Like she's grandfather's representative, so she was permitted to take the name of the witch from his delusions? No, that's not what I meant. Right now, there are a total of 18 people here in Rokkenjima. Do you think that there is a 19th person? Is there really a whole 18? Are there really a whole 18 people on the island? Wondering about that, I began counting my fingers and really did come out to 18 people. Do I think that a 19th person exists, you say? Oh, are we supposed to believe that maybe like somebody is like is Beatrice or whatever? Like
Let's
someone
begin.
is playing. I see. The mysterious 21st student, Mukuro Ikusaba. Watch out for her or whatever that fucking line is from Danganronpa 1.
Yeah. Basically.
What do you mean? What exactly do you mean? Just like I said, looks like the person who lent Maria that umbrella was not one of us 18. Therefore, isn't it reasonable to think that a 19th person exists, and this was the person who lent Maria the umbrella? Well, yes, I suppose. Then where exactly is this person now? At the very least, she must at least be on the island when it started raining. And since that time, the weather has become progressively worse, so taking a boat out would be pretty much impossible. I really see how this game is going to go, where it's like, on one hand, you're trying to work out the logical conclusions that are being based in like a world of reality here, but on the other hand, like you're constantly just going, but if it's magic, then it's also just magic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if magic is real, then, like, I mean, shit, it doesn't matter.
It gets very funny.
Mm-hmm. In any case, that person must still be on the island hiding from the rain somewhere, without being spotted by any of us. Certainly all of us have been randomly prowling around all over the mansion and guest house, but no one has bumped into a 19th person. Even so, this island is huge. There might be other places to hide from the rain inside the mansion and the guest house. About this time, I began to realize what direction Kyrie-san's doubts were taking us in. Kyrie was denying the 19th person existed. Beatrice was one of us 18. In other words, she thought that someone we all knew was using her name. We knew well was using her name. If Beatrice really was as she described herself, this person would definitely be the most honored of guests. The most honored of confidants, trusted by grandfather. I mean, once again, Maria didn't, like, she said it was Beatrice. She said it, didn't say it was anyone else. And, like, everyone has the only one who doesn't have, like, a fucking corroborated alibi is, like, Genji, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think he's fitting into that dress and, like, wearing that wig and looking like that. I think if you put him in the dress, Maria would be like, Genji, why are you wearing the dress?
Yeah.
Like, she wouldn't be like, wow, Beatrice. She would be very confused, but she would not be like, well, you know, there's no way that grandfather would give that kind of person a warm reception. She would surely have been ushered into the mansion. However, we haven't seen anyone. Wait a second, isn't this line of reasoning a little too hasty? Yes, no one spotted them, but that doesn't mean you can deny the person the possibility that the 19th person exists, right? I get the feeling like Balor's immediately, like Beatrice is going to show up and he's immediately going to flip and start being like, no, actually, I was talking bullshit earlier. Kyrie was right. Maybe for some reason they landed on the island stealthily and been hiding ever since. It's what they call the devil's proof. It's easy to prove that something exists. If this Beatrice appears in front of all of us and says hi, then everything is resolved. But it's impossible to prove that there is no 19th person. Yes. Oh yeah, you can't prove a negative. This woman's chest-to-waist ratio is insane. Yeah, it is. Kyrie, like I don't know, like, whatever you can say about Rudolph, you can't deny that he's got good taste. Yes, Badler-kun, your way of reasoning isn't bad. In the current situation, there's not enough information to either accept a 13th person exists or deny it. But if you flip over the chessboard and think of it that way, we can be nearly sure the existence of a 19th person is impossible. Flip over the chessboard was one of Kyrie's favorite phrases. I had also been influenced by those words and used them myself from time to time. Boy, I wonder what his catchphrase is going to be later when he is doing mental battles with Beatrice. I wonder. When you get stuck trying to find a move in chess or shogi, by flipping the board over and looking at everything from your opponent's standpoint, you can often see a strategy that will give you an upper hand. Derived from this, it means putting yourself in your opponent's shoes. Okay, let's say that 19th person called Beatrice actually exists. That person must have managed, without being seen by anyone, to stealthily arrive on the island and remain hidden since then. They had some reason for this, yes? In that case, why did they deliberately appear before Maria and hand her the letter? This really was a contradiction. If they had some reason for hiding themselves, they should have stayed hidden the whole time, but they had appeared openly in front of Maria. Well, wait, Maria even said it. Didn't she say that she had been made a messenger? Since Maria was the youngest and looked the most innocent. Why would they need a messenger? If they just wanted a letter delivered to the family conference, they could have mailed it. If they had mailed it to each of the 4 siblings, they would have been unable to ignore it. There was no need for them to carry it out themselves and secretly hand it over. That really does sound pretty weird. In the first place, if Beatrice existed, she wanted to make her presence known to everyone. She could have just openly presented herself to all of us. Kyrie, I think you're missing the biggest point here, which is, what if Beatrice was a dramatic bitch? What if she loved messy drama?
Yep.
How did she change her voice, vocabulary, and manner of speaking? Don't worry about it. Despite that, she chose the vague method of appearing through a little girl called Maria-chan. Weird phrasing, but okay. And gave us only an indistinct impression of who she was. Contradiction. Let's go a little deeper, shall we? She appeared in front of a... What would Beatrice be at Rice because she is a farmer? What if Beatrice be at Rice because she is a farmer? God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. She appeared in front of Maria, trying to give us the impression that the 19th person existed, and yet she still hasn't appeared before us and is hiding somewhere at this very moment. I want her to kick down the door right now. Rain's good for crops. Contradiction between these. Keep it in mind. Flip over the chessboard. In other words, the question is, why would a person give the impression that Beatrice exists as a 19th person? This person wanted to hide, then they wouldn't have made their presence known. If they wanted to show themselves, they wouldn't have used the roundabout approach of trusting someone with the letter. Which means, it's simple. Beatrice is one of the 18. Bet none of your rich kids knew that. Nobleman swerve, peasant coming through. Give Beatrice a break, she could also just be socially anxious, yeah. That is why they are creating the illusion that there is someone outside of the 18. Powerful suggestion of a 19th person. The only person who could profit from this would not be some 19th person in hiding. It would be one of the original 18 people. Of course, this reasoning is full of holes. Turn over even a few of its premises, it will simply fall apart. But I think it's almost certainly correct. This is quickly starting to sound pretty creepy. Who would lent Maria the umbrella and handed her the letter? All 18 had been ruled out, and yet Beatrice was hidden amongst those 18. Unless it actually was 19. Like, once again, you are like, I get like the logic here, but also like, you have corroborated alibis for everyone except for Genji, and that's not happening. Who's that person planning, hiding their true form and pretending to be Beatrice? I also suspected that it might have been Maria-chan play acting. The contents of the message were extremely complicated, so it's hard to think that Maria-chan prepared it himself. However, I can't deny the possibility Maria-chan is working together with somebody. Wait a second. Maria's a 9-year-old kid! What on earth could you suspect her of planning it with who? And what about her serious, too honest, and obedient character? Yes, I also understand what kind of person Maria-chan is. But I think that's exactly why it's possible. That girl's a dreamer who looks up to and blindly accepts the existence of witches. So if a person appeared in front of her and said that she was the witch Beatrice, Maria-chan would be so happy that she would just swallow it up, I think. So you're saying that if someone disguised themselves by wearing that fancy dress in the portrait, tricking Maria wouldn't be that hard. Once again, I guess we're back to Genji putting on the dress.
Yep.
Of course, for that reason, all of us women would become the primary suspects. Anyways, who did Maria-chan encounter? Asking her the details of that would be our best and closest key to solving the riddle. I guess it could have technically been Natsuhi, given that. Because Natsuhi was also kind of on her own. Like, she left early. She left to go lie down. I don't know why they aren't thinking this is some challenge by their dad had hired some actress on the sly. I mean, I think that they're still thinking along the lines of like the 19th person and like the logistics of just not being there and not being caught. Anyways, asking her the details were best and closest keep solving this riddle. But that key has been obstinately closed up inside of her heart. Everyone denied the existence of the witch without listening to her, barraged her with too many questions about who Beatrice actually was. Maria-chan probably won't open her heart to the adults now. In the dim hall in front of the portrait of Beatrice, Maria was sobbing. Aww. If there's like a thing where like she starts killing everybody, she earned it. She earns this. I'm thinking to myself, boy, that's a lot of chapters, huh?
What do you mean?
I'm just like, how long? Like, what's all gonna happen that like we can get this many events out of it? Because I don't think we can. Like, just like logistically, I don't think that we can continue with just this one scenario for as long as like people have said like the game lasts. So there's got to be some kind of weird bullshit that happens. Also, like, I know you know what, Eddie? I think you might have actually been right about that opening, because now I'm just thinking about that one girl that we don't recognize from the opening segment, and I'm like, huh,
What was I right about?
like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have watched the opening.
Yeah, 2 times is more than enough.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking, like I said before, I'm thinking about that one girl from the opening, and I'm like, that we didn't recognize, and I'm like, huh, now 19th person, huh? No one believes I met you. I showed them the letter you gave me, but they still don't believe. Honestly, from Maria's perspective, like, she is, like, super right to be mad at everyone, because she did see it. No one's believing her. I would be comfortable with everyone in the story except for Maria-chan dying. I think there would be some losses that are bigger than others, but I would be okay with it. Anyways, Maria-chan's holding the key. The key to whether Beatrice is one of the 18 people or a 19th person. Maria's stubborn, you know? That girl, when she gets angry, it's pretty hard to make her feel better. Rather, I think there's a higher probability of a kid like you cheering her up than an adult like me. Okay, so this is why she came over in the first place, is to get, like, Battler on the case. Like, this has been her plan from the start. Again, lucky this is a novel rather than a game. Yeah. After she feels better, try asking. I know you don't care about all this, but the back and forth on the distribution of the... I know you don't care about all this back and forth on the distribution of the inheritance. Don't you think this classroom of Western Mansion mystery situation is exciting? Who in the world is this person who gave Maria-chan the letter? Makes my intellectual curiosity take... She is really manipulating him as hard as she can. Huh. Det would be swanging. I would.
True.
Even better, even while being made to sit through this boring money talks, you can call this exciting? You really are tough. My thoughts really are something else. I shrugged, exasperated, but I had realized she had noticed the dejection I was feeling because I had overheard our parents' turbulent discussion and was probably trying to turn my rude mood around. She at least managed to make me feel good despite good enough to hurl abuse. She wasn't my real mother, so I never felt like calling her mom. But it did make me think she's a real adult. I have a better idea. Beatrice turns everyone but Maria into frogs. Maria has a shitload of gold and terrarium full of frogs, so when anyone asks about it, Maria says she is so happy her family is finally getting along.
Yeah.
Hey, brats. So this is where you were? Kiria, you really took your time fixing your makeup, didn't you? From now on, I'll start wearing it too. Sorry, women's makeup takes a long time. So, how was the discussion been without me? I'm sure everything was all peaceful and harmonious. Kiria-san poked the weak spot under my arm with her elbow. We decided to take a break to cool our heads a little. Looks like it'll last all night. I could cry. We had talking had changed, but he couldn't completely hide his fatigue. I couldn't say I was sympathetic, but he looked pitiful compared to his normal energetic self. Still, that rain's just awful. I really don't want to go back to the guest house. Looks like Natsuhei's Nissan made preparations for us to spend the night here in the mansion. What do we do? We don't need to think about that until you're done, right? If we run out of enough energy to head back to our room, then we can let them take care of us. Yeah, you're right. We can think about it later. How about you, Bevan? If I stayed, I'd just get in the way. That'd be nice. I'll be nice and go back over there. Okay. Will you go back soon? I don't know. I'll be lonely to head back by myself. I'll head back with the rest of the kids in the group. Yeah, that'd be good. So, Battler, you won't just be going to sleep that easily, right? Yeah, I'll probably stay up. I'll probably be up talking with the cousins. Feels like we might be up all night. Is there a problem with that? Okay. If, when the adults' discussion is over, you're still awake, I want to have a little talk as a family. Oh, what? That doesn't sound like you. Apparently, Kirie-san was thinking the same thing. I really think I nailed the emotion of that one right there.
Yeah, you did. That's why I'm laughing.
What? What are you talking? Apparently, Kirie-san was thinking the same thing. What are you talking about? She asked him in a small voice. Looks like Kirie-san didn't have a clue what Dad was talking about either. I want to talk to you about it as well. I'll tell you later, so don't ask now. Please. I don't think there was anyone who ignores their family as much as this old bastard. This is the guy who was asking us to have a talk as a family. Badler is so puffy here. Both Kirie, maybe in a previous sprite, Kirie and I couldn't help but get wide-eyed. Don't make that scared-looking face. I'm the one who should be scared. I mean, at that point he swallowed his words for an instant. I don't remember Dad being the kind of person to artificially drum up suspense. You're freaking me out, Dad. You got your family all here right now. So quit spitting around beating around the bush and spit it out. I'm probably gonna get murdered tonight. Oh!
Normal.
Yeah, okay. There was a huge crash of thunder. It must have been really close. Dad's expression, briefly illuminated by the lightning, was burned in my eyes. Dad's face, which has always looked so sure of itself and which always wore a taunting expression, was, for some reason that I can't explain, strangely frail. It was so worn out that he looked like a different person. Huh? What? Huh? What are you talking about? That doesn't sound like you. I agree. What happened? You look so timid all of a sudden. It's not like you. I'm gonna go fix my makeup. Don't follow me. Dad turned away weakly. After that, only Kirie-san and I were left, still wide-eyed. The hell was that? He's gonna get murdered tonight? You don't think that mysterious letter scared him? Hasn't he been watching too many serial murder movies? Kiryu-san didn't answer my letter to words and continued to stare at my dad's disappearing bag. Batola-kun, when you told Rudolph-san to talk about it, he left without telling us anything. Even though he said he had something to say to everyone, he didn't answer you. Why? Flip over the chessboard. And when you do? There's the contradiction that said he wanted to talk, but then couldn't. Well, can you see anything by looking at from Dad's perspective? Yes, I can see something. He wants to talk about something. However, he doesn't have the courage to bring it up. So base actually means, in that case, chase after me, talk to me, and question it out of me. My dad, or anyone else told me they were going to get murdered, I'd stick close to that person because holy shit. He also means the opposite when he says don't follow me. He actually means follow me and force me to answer. Honestly, what a spoiled little child. Well, are you sure your theory's okay? It's ridiculous. Can great detectives deduce the emotions and feelings between men and women? They can't, right? Figuring out the feelings of the opposite sex is even more advanced art than exposing the tricks in difficult crime cases. If you ask me, romance novels have a much deeper mysteries than the masterpiece mystery novels. I see. Is that how it is? I'll be with that spoiled little child. He normally loves to act tough, but tonight he's completely tired out from that heated discussion. He probably wants someone to lean on at the moment. And responding to that need is the duty of his partner. Sounds passionate. Then I'll leave the old bastard in your hands. Yep, leave it to me. She is going to murder him.
Yeah.
I call it out. As Kiryu-san departed, I call it out here. Huh? What? Wanted to say thanks. Thanks to you, my gloomy mood has cleared up a lot. That's good. Communication's important. After answering with a wink, Kiryu-san followed up from it after Dad. Natsuki could be found in the dimly lit hallway. Now and then the thunder would crash, but it had no effect on Natsuki's expression. Her expression was completely worn out. The discussion that had just taken place between the relatives in the dining hall was repeating itself in Natsuki's mind. This bitch is going to stand. Beatrice had proclaimed that in addition to the gold, the headship and all the assets of the Ushiromia family would be given to the person who could solve the riddle. In other words, she planned to undermine the absolute guarantee that Kraus, as oldest brother, had to succeed the family head. Originally, the other siblings had absolutely no chance to succeed the head. To them, this proposal by Beatrice was extremely desirable. It was obvious that they would accept Beatrice's proposal. Even without playing clumsy detective games, she knew that the so-called 19th person Beatrice couldn't exist. This is a message employing a fictional character called Beatrice as a messenger. It may as well have been written in Kinzo-san's own handwriting. Proof that Kinzo remained stubbornly neutral as to the letter's authenticity. He was completely ignoring these reckless claims that he shouldn't be able to ignore. He had given up the head's ring. In short, Kinzo had wordlessly admitted that the letter held his own message. Most likely one of the servants had given Maria the letter. Kinzo had probably worked out an elaborate plan with the dress from where the dress from the portrait would be prepared, and then someone, probably Shannon, would be made aware and deliver the letter and umbrella. By doing that, he could make it seem like the witch from the portrait actually existed. No, if anything, this is why you can be certain that Kinzo was behind all of this. In that case, it was just as if Kinzo had butted in on all the siblings' private discussion. And by announcing that he would give everything to the person who could solve the riddle, Kinzo had weakened Kraus's overwhelming advantage. Now it was certain. Kinzo had listened in on the siblings' discussion in the parlor earlier that day, so he had known how Kraus had staved off the attack by the other three, and to make the scales of battle going back into balance, had set out the strange letter with the benefit of the other three. You know, Natsuki, you are assuming that he gives way more of a shit than he does. Ava and Rudolph had dragged Rosa in, who had a weak position among the siblings because of her age, and they were trying once again to overwhelm Kraus 3-on-1 and pursue their crazy reasoning. And so they had resumed what had once been a nearly settled conflict and was repeatedly pressing Kraus to pay them a large amount of money. Talk about the advance payment, which had been denied once already, was being brought up again under the terms that all the siblings would guarantee Kraus the succession to the family head. Of course, even without the story about the hidden gold, the Ushiromia family store of wealth was vast. Just the store alone was worth more than enough by itself. Even if the hidden gold was buried alongside Kinzo's death, there would be more than enough to satisfy. Therefore, even if they had no interest in the gold itself, there would be the lifelong fear that on the off chance that someone had found the gold, that person would be granted the position the family head. This kind of Achilles heel would definitely be taken advantage of by someone sooner or later. The only person with that fatal weakness was the successor to the head, Kraus. Where their siblings had found? No, they had been told by Kinzo about something that only Kraus could lose, and they had thoroughly taken advantage of that. Natsu, as Kraus' only ally in this painful position, and his wife, had believed that she was fighting alongside him. She kept trying to point out to him that the existence of the gold itself was a farce, and that there was no need for him to compromise. Kraus had always told Natsuki, he'd told all the siblings, he'd always said that the hidden gold was nothing more than a fiction created by Kinzo. Therefore, Natsuki had believed that his wife, and on that foundation had supported her husband. Yet her words could not reach him. Even though she was fighting so hard and lending her all of her strength, he continued to fight by himself and was trying to compromise with the other three siblings. Wondering why she could not be of any use to him, Natsuki felt sorrow, shame, and then anger. It had happened when everyone decided to take a short break to cool their heads. Natsuki had flared up against Kraus. Enraged, she had asked why she could not be useful to him. He had told her that he wanted to talk about something, had invited her over into one of his private rooms, which he was normally not allowed to enter. That room had been sealed with a heavy-looking padlock, and just looking at it had given her an uncomfortable feeling. You gonna get murdered? There's no reason for you to worry about what those three, or even the suspicious person who calls themselves Beatrice, says. After all, the gold is just a ruse created by Father. There's no way something like that could be found. It's all set in stone that you will be successor to the family. What are you afraid of? Kraus removed the padlock on the door. He motioned Natsuki to enter. But what is this? There's something I want to show you. I have never shown it to you before. I want to yank that kerchief a little bit as a joke. A little bit. Natsuki timidly opened the door with a dubious expression on her face. It was pitch black. She searched for a switch to turn on the light. Since it was her first time in the room, she didn't know where it was. Kraus entered behind her, pushing her in, and closed the door before making any attempt to turn on the lights. The two were swallowed up by the darkness. Only the sound of Kraus locking the door again, running out through the dark. What are you doing? The lights. I'm turning it on now. Wait. True to his word, Kraus pushed the switch in the wall, the flickering light turned on and lit up the room. What is this? Natsuki had her breath taken away. The room had no windows, and at a glance, it appeared to be empty. In the middle of the room, a small table had been set. The lights brightened only that table as it was the leading part in play. Laid out on top of the table was a red tablecloth with elaborate design covered with dust, and on top of that, something about the size of a grown man's arm had been set down. It's a bar of gold. That something took Brodsky's breath away. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a gold ingot of incredible purity. Without this, no one would have believed in the legend of the gold. It's an ingot of solid gold. Even in the faint light, it sparkled with a noble and dignified glint. This is not a proper ingot. I don't even know whether it was cast inside or outside the country. It takes a high-level skill to make the purest of solid gold ingots. In order to verify that purity, it is standard to have the original foundry and the name in the bag that guaranteed it and printed on the gold. However, this ingot did not have that kind of seal. Some serious gold bar had come from an unknown foundry. Look here. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a bar of gold. Oh no, that gold bar means that your shit is fucking at risk. Timidly approached the ingot. Right there. Kraus pointed at the surface of the ingot. Natsuki concentrated on that section. Right there on the thin imprint of the one-winged eagle crest, Natsuki's breath was taken away once again. That's right. This is the legendary ingot that Dad said he received from the witch, that the president of Morocco, Amarasu, I don't know why I said Morocco, witnessed and was allowed to select at random to take back with him. That gained the trust of the fixers in the business world. I had to use all possible means to find it, before the other siblings could. How could... Then, the legend of Father's gold is, it actually exists. The gold that Ushinomiya Kinzo received from Beatrice actually exists. Oh, he's so fucked! How could it really exist? Also, you lied to me? Natsuki was shocked. Kraus had always said that Kinzo's gold was just a fabrication, so she had believed it as his wife. However, the reality was different. He had held definite proof, but had been more certain about it than any of the other siblings the legend of the gold was true. Because of this, Kraus was deeply frightened at the possibility that someone other than him could find the gold that he had failed to find, costing him everything. To Natsuki, this truth was more than enough to split open her heart. She had thought that, as Kraus's wife, she should be his closest confidant, which was why she had been selflessly supporting him, and yet he had hidden this fact from her until today. Why? Have I been so undeserving of your trust? I didn't mean it like that. It was only that there was no need to mention it. Is all that a wife means to you? Calm down. Becoming passionate easily is one of your bad habits. Jesus Christ, this man hates his wife. This man, like, she could drop dead of a heart attack in front of him and he would just step over her body.
You mean like that's also one of your bad habits?
You're the one who's making me like that, aren't you? I've been supporting you as a wife ever since I got married into this family. For your sake, I threw away the family I was born into. I've been offering up my heart and my body to serve... Okay. And in return, I get this? How could you? Kraus grimaced, looking annoyed. His expression effectively communicated how much he disliked this part of Natsuhi. Oh, what? Being a person? I don't think I can be of any use to you anymore. That's fine. I can resolve problems between siblings by myself. I don't need your help. That's wrong. This is the Ushiromiya family's problem. It is true that I am permitted to have permitted to have the family crest imprinted upon my body. But I am still your wife. Even so, are you saying I'm not qualified to help you? Are you? I deliberately chose not to involve you out of consideration for you. Let's not talk any further. It will likely only worsen your headaches. Take a rest for the day. Siblings will deal with sibling problems. It has nothing to do with you. That's all. You know,
yeah.
Kraus, I think this might have been a misplay because now your wife is completely emotionally unbalanced and on her own. And with information that could ruin you.
Like, literally, why even bother?
Yeah, like at this point, just fucking keep her in the dark. Why would you do it at this junction? A dull headache tormented Natsuhi. No matter what medicine she took, no matter what scent she burned, it wouldn't heal. On the other hand, by standing there alone in the dimly lit corridor, her head filled with the sun of the rain, she felt like the pain had softened a little. It may have been Natsuhi, but I was not Ushiromiya Natsuhi. Denigrated as being a sorry excuse for a wife, verbally abused for not even being able to take care of that. Even so, I tried to properly perform the duties of a wife, but have been rejected even by my husband. I did my best raising my daughter as though it was the last job left to me. However, my anger and sadness, having no place to go, caused me to consciously strain that relationship too. Because I have been excessively strict in Jessica's education, I am thoroughly disliked by her. Jessica despises me for not being interested in anything but grades. There's no longer anything I can do for the Ushiromiya family. No, that's no good. Even so, I must help my husband dislodge the schemes of the other greedy siblings. The head won't be around much longer. Eventually, Kraus will succeed the head, and the next successor will be Jessica. Strictly speaking, the man who enters the family by marrying Jessica will become the next head, but it all comes to the same thing. I have to make Jessica an excellent successor, who everyone will accept as worthy to take over the Ushiromiya family. In the years to come, that greedy Ushiromiya Eva will surely be continually plotting to find some fault with the main family, so that if all goes as she plans, Jessica will be dragged down from succession with George in her place. It is regrettable, but George is a man, and even more, he has matured as a person. To compare him to Jessica, who right now is in the middle of her rebellious period and whose grades are below average, you can see at a glance who is more fit to succeed the head. So in order to secure Jessica's position, I need to turn her into an excellent person. After doing that, I want to find her an excellent husband worthy of the excellent person she will have become. A wonderful man who would truly accept Jessica and stay with her all through all life's joys and sorrows. Was that Natsuhi trying to entrust her daughter with fulfilling some desire of her own? Yeah, projection! Natsuhi thought back to the days when she had no choice but to marry into the Ushiromiya family because of that unavoidable fate. She had tried to block that from her memory. She had consciously forgotten and actively attended to the life she had been given as Ushiromiya Natsuhi. And this was the new life she had built. But it felt like, just now, all of that had been casually rejected. Like, I feel bad for her, but, like, she is also, like, still, like...
She's crazy, bro.
She sucks so bad. How should I think as I live my life? I don't know. Natsuhi helplessly rested her head against the glass of the window. The glass, cooled by the raindrops beating against it, was somehow refreshing, and even though it had no emotions, right then it seemed to be the only thing that could understand Natsuhi. Even if someone stood out there and saw her like this, Natsuhi had no intention of caring in the least. But she found herself caring, because it was her beloved daughter. Aw, she does care about her kid. Oh, it meant that Jessica found her. Whoops. I don't know, even if it is just projection, I do get the impression that she does care about Jessica. Oh, it's you, Mom. What the heck are you doing here? Thought you were a ghost. Just like always, her words were rough and not at all like the girls. Instinctively, words of rebuke rose to Natsu's throat. However, they did so only weakly, so she was able to prevent them from escaping her lips. Jessica, I'm sorry, your mother has an awful headache. Please leave me be. Oh. Jessica was more than slightly disconcerted by this first ever sight of feebleness from her mother. Just until just now, she had been filled with contempt for all the parents, including her mother. Now, not the slightest bit of that feeling remained. All of it had been wiped out by her mother's completely exhausted face. In its place, the words that George had told her floated back up in her mind. Parents were doing their best in their own way. They're supporting their family, so they can't afford to keep everything pleasant and have a heavy responsibility to fight. Couldn't her mother have been standing around in this dimly lit hallway because no one had tried to understand that? Jessica didn't like her mother, so she had no instinct to give her mother words of kindness just because she looked a little frail. Therefore, in order to give those words regardless, she had to clench both fists and wrench the words out of the depths of her heart. It looks like you really have your hands full with that discussion. It has nothing to do with you. Please go elsewhere. Is your headache bad? Should I get some medicine? You don't have to trouble yourself. Please, leave me by myself. Natsuhi was not being cold. She was just wanted to get her daughter far away from her so that she could avoid subjecting her to her short temper. But there was no chance that her intentions would reach Jessica. Oh. Okay. Jessica hung up her head, looking sad. Looking at that expression, Natsuhi realized that Jessica was trying to muster up the strength to be kind to her mother. She gave her head a small shake to drive away her own unkind feelings. Then I'll leave. I'll be with the other cousins, so I don't get in the way of the adults. See you.
I got ice cream.
Wow. Wait. She called Jessica, about to make a desolate exit to a stop. What? Thank you for being considerate. It isn't good of me to go to sleep and leave you alone. Don't talk like that. You'll bring bad luck. I apologize for worrying you. I'm alright. I will go. Staying here any longer with such a feeble expression would actually make her daughter feel more uncomfortable. Thinking this, Natsuhi left Jessica with words of gratitude and made to depart. This time it was Jessica who called out to her mother's back. Natsuhi stopped and turned around and asked what she wanted. Jessica herself didn't know why she had stopped her mother, and for a while she muttered to herself with a slightly forced smile as she hesitated over what to say. She was poking around in her pocket when her hand touched something and she took it out. Hey, Mom, I, was given a charm today. What was it, a charm against magic? I'm pretty sure that you were supposed to hang it from your doorknob, was it? I forgot. There's no reason for me to have it, so I'm giving it to you. It was a scorpion charm that Maria had given her by the beach that day. Although she had heard of its various effects from Maria, right now Jessica's mind was blank, and it was all she could do to even say that much. Thinking that her mother probably wouldn't accept the charm anyways, Jessica had immediately drawn back the hand offering it to her. So when Natsuhi came back and took a hold of that hand, she was extremely surprised. What is this? Some kind of giveaway? Well, I think it's something like that. I guess you can't expect any benefits from a charm that looks like a toy. But her mother took the scorpion charm from her grip. Thank you. I'll take good care of it. Sometime soon, in exchange, I'll give you a charm that was important to me when I was a child. It's not like that's why I gave it to you. But, well, if you really say so, then I will rest for now. My headache is awful. Try not to stay up too late. Sure.
Jessica really just has the same design as Natsuhi, but with like...
Yeah, I did notice that when they were right next. Yeah. yeah, exactly. I think it's really fun to like. I think that the author like really helps capture the idea of like a family that like still cares about each other. Yeah, like a dysfunctional family where like there's like incredible points of tension and like they really, some of them really do genuinely hate each other, but like there is still like that feeling of like you still care about them even though like things are rough.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It captures
moments between them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It really adds like the humanity of like, because you could easily make this game where like everyone is just awful. Like all the bad character, quote unquote bad characters, are just completely awful and they don't care or whatever. But like adding this human element, I think really helps like give things a lot of depth. It's like they've been there. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Ryukishi was a social worker before he was a writer. So I mean, once again, capturing that dynamic, I feel like is like something that he's experienced, right? Like through his work.
I think that has something more to do with him being a writer than a social worker, but yeah.
Well, I mean, social workers get called into all sorts of dysfunctional family situations, right? So like being able to capture like that mixture of like distaste and like resentment, but like that like where that care comes in at the end of it. Like I think like that comes of, I mean, like obviously like you could have his own experiences, of course, but like I think that like you run into that sort of thing a lot in social work. Anyways, Natsu put the charm in her pocket and turned away. She then disappeared into the dark hall.
Goodbye, Natsuhi.
I can't believe Jessica's going to wake up dead. Hey, Lazy. Looks like the weather will be like this all day tomorrow. After all. Damn. Hard to believe it was dry out earlier. George Montague and I were killing time in front of the parlor television. Like I love how like everyone else is going through these like huge moments, and like George and Battler are like, "Man, sure fucking sucks outside, huh? Crazy about the weather."
Anyways, TV time.
Mm-hmm. At that point, Jessica returned. Her face was still blank. Good night. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you're having a good day. Sleep tight.
Love you.
Yeah. At that point, Jessica returned. Her face was still blank, but it looked like she had calmed down a little bit since she had left. Like, I mean, part of me almost wants to say something like really awful out of context, so, like Lacey has an excuse to like clip something. So you know, because I know how much she loves that. You all have a great rest of the stream. Absolutely, man. Thank you. Is Maria still around for the portrait? Still in front of the portrait? Nope. She just came back. She's sleeping over there on the sofa. It's getting pretty late for her. Looking at the clock, it was a little past 10 p.m. Even if we were going to stay up all night, it was about time to head back to our room. My mom did prepare a room for us in the mansion, but what do you want to do? I think I'd rather head back to the guest house. I can get wanting to get like actual physical distance within the situation. Speaking about it being past 10 p.m. Yeah. Judging by our parents' experience, it appears that it would be better if we weren't in the mansion. Yeah, second that. Feels like they're telling us kids to mind our own business and stay out of their way. Let's do that, like good little boys and girls. After we discussed that, Auntie Rosa came into the parlor. Ah, shit! She was looking all over restlessly, probably trying to find Maria. Auntie Rosa, if you're looking for Maria, she's over there on the sofa. Thank you. Hi, she's out cold. We must move her to her bed. If you'd like me to, I can carry her to her bed. Thank you, that'd be wonderful. Will have you return to the guest house? Or you stay in the room Nissan prepared? We were just talking about that. We decided to head over to the guest house. Really? And I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking Maria with you? I think it would be much more comforting for her if she's with all of her cousins. Seems that in the shadow behind those words, there was some regret that adults, yourself included, had deeply hurt Maria's feelings. Leave it to us, Auntie. After all, we do have an expert at comforting Maria with us. Are you talking about me? I couldn't do it by myself. We'll need everyone together. That's right. Heather, weren't you the one who hit it off with Maria when you were messing around earlier? Look carefully, Puffy. When he changed his sprites. As he said this, Auntie Rosa smiled, looking truly happy. Thank you, everyone. It looks like our meeting will last until very late. So, I'm sorry for the burden, but I'll have to leave Maria in your hands. Hey, Maria, you awake? We're going back to the guest house. Maria muttered something indistinct as if answering, but then rolled over and fell back asleep. Looks like she was sleeping deeply. She's really out cold. It'd be bad to wake her. Right, I'll carry her. Maria's body was much lighter than it looked. George Aniki picked her up and pulled her over his back. It was raining hard outside, and Aniki couldn't hold an umbrella and carry Maria at the same time. Looked like Auntie Rosa would come with us as far as the guest house to help out. However, when she heard Uncle Krause's voice call out to her, she had no choice but to return. Ah, dear. I have to go back. Is everyone returning to the guest house? After we left the hall on the way back to the entrance, the door to the servant room opened and Shannon-chan stepped out. It's become very dark, so allow me to guide you. Perfect timing, Shannon-chan. George couldn't going to carry Maria there. Could you hold an umbrella for me? Yes, certainly. Shannon-chan brought umbrellas for each of us and a flashlight to guide the way. As we opened the front door, the downpour was quite terrific. It looked like we wouldn't have any spare time to take a pleasant walk and enjoy the nighttime rose garden. Okay, is she too heavy? You want me to help carry her? That's alright. I can at least carry Maria-chan. I'm truly grateful. Please take care of Maria. Alright, we understand. In that case, good night, Auntie. I'll see them over there and return here. Yes, please. Auntie Rosa saw us off. Maria, I'm sorry for everything. Rosa's mumbling voice didn't reach the person in question or anyone else, but disappeared beneath the sound of the rain.
You should really tell your daughter that.
Yeah, you should really do that, huh? I love the palm trees on the guest house, in front of like the guest house. After cutting
really
through the rainy,
like that beach resort.
Yeah, after cutting through that rainy rose garden, we arrived at the guest house. If only I had applied for the position of Maria carrier. No! God damn it! I thought we were done with this shit.
I forgot. Sorry.
If only I had applied for the position of Maria carrier, then I'd have gotten to rub Shannon-chan's huge chest all over my arm as she held the umbrella over me.
Sorry.
It's not on purpose. It's a misunderstanding. I think he's like teasing George, but like still, it's fucked up. I thought that if I didn't, George-sama would get all wet. Listen, the boobs are an important part of the game. Come on, quit babbling and get on it. Go in. After being nudged by Jessica, Shannon folded up her umbrella and went into the guest house. Has anyone gotten their clothes wet? I'm so grateful for other people being kind to my daughter since I'm never going to do that. Yeah. Can't believe Lazy missed this. It's really tragic.
It is.
Has anyone gotten their clothes wet? I can bring some towels if you would like. You don't need to worry about us, that. Thanks, Shannon-chan. Oh, yes. We were saying earlier that we would play some cards. Do you want to stay with us for a while? Huh? You had the night shift on today's schedule. I believe there's a special schedule for the duration of the family conference. I think there were a few changes, so I'll go and check. Wait, if you have to go all the way back to the mansion to find out, you don't have to force yourself. Ah, it's alright. They can find out from the servant room in this guest house. Please excuse me a short while. Shannon-chan gave a quick bow and went to the guest house servant room.
How many people are using the guest house?
I don't know, that's a great question. The rest of us headed for the cousin's room and put Maria in the bed for the time being. Maria was sleeping very deeply, and there was absolutely no sign of her eyes opening. We got some drinks out of the room's refrigerator and spent some time playing cards while drinking. It's true, welcome to my guest house. Oh, Kanin-kun. Even Genji-sama's here. What's happening with tonight's shift? Kraus-sama has given an order. There have been modifications made to most of the schedule. Indeed. Bodas has been changed the night shift at the it has been changed to the night shift at the mansion. Okay, so he's going to kill somebody.
Who?
Goda. Yeah, Goda was put in the night shift in the mansion. You and Canon had the night shift at the guest house. Goda is going to be used to murder somebody.
Okay.
Kumasawa-san and I have been ordered to spend the night in the guest house. Yep. We just now had a phone call stating that you would remain here as well. Yeah, that's
Only Goda in the mansion? Jesus.
Yeah, only Goda in the mansion. I wonder why. It's not like he's like Krause's guy or anything, and it's not like he's like completely evil. Look at his chin. Just look at his chin. That's like chin of a murderer. That's quite a large modification. The shifts of the guest house and the mansion have been completely reversed, haven't they? Originally, Shannon and Cannon had been given the night shift in the mansion, while the night shift in the guest house where all the relatives were staying had been assigned to Goda, who had an abundance of experience in entertaining. Kumasawa-san had been scheduled to stay in the guest house, while Genji had been scheduled to stay in the mansion. However, it seemed that Krause had suddenly ordered that the schedule has been modified. The shifts of the guest house and the mansion had all been reversed, and Genji was spending the night in the guest house.
Damn.
It's probably because of Beach or Sama's letter. Probably. Why? When such a mysterious letter appeared, it was only natural that Krause-sama would suspect one of us. Their designs are, like, just so completely the same. It's crazy how much the same their designs are.
I think it's
We serve directly under the master, so Kraus-sama probably wanted to keep us as far away from the family conference as possible. Genji, Shannon, and Cannon were all permitted to wear the Yushiromiya family crest, the one-winged eagle, as servants who served directly under Kinzo. Of course, since they were working for the Yushiromiya family, they had to obey everyone's orders, but their only boss was Kinzo. Since only Kinzo held the right to employ them, even Kraus could not have them dismissed of his own accord. Because of this, they were often viewed by Kraus and the others as Kinzo's underlings and shunned, whereas Goda is absolutely, like, Kraus's. Yeah. In reality, Kinzo would seldom let anyone other than them enter his study. You can probably call this sudden shift a change and a clear expression of that sense of distrust. Considering the time that Kinzo had left to live, this would definitely be the last family conference where the problem of the inheritance would come up. On top of that, the mysterious letter had claimed to be from Beatrice had dropped out of the blue. Kraus had definitely wanted to keep Kinzo's loyal subjects away from that table for such a delicate and important discussion. Very different character designs. One has large boobs, and one has small boobs. Incredible. Now, if you'll excuse me, I will go and rest. If something happens, call me immediately. Company tonight is special. Yes, certainly, Genji-sama. Genji nodded back, went behind a screen, took off his jacket, and slowly began to relax after a day's worth of tension. The ones who returned just now, were they the children? Yes. The other relatives are having a conference at the mansion. Looked like it would drag on until much later. I noticed that Shannon's doesn't have like a eagle anywhere on her outfit.
It's
but
like
Cannon does.
On her outfit. You have to see the full body.
Oh, it's probably like on like her hem of her apron or something like that.
Yeah, I can look it up for you if you want.
No, that's fine. I'll take your word for it. I was just wondering because they mentioned it, but I was like looking. I'm like, wait, I don't actually see one.
Yeah.
Probably the rest of the relatives will spend the night in their rooms in the mansion. Yes, probably. I'm only saying this because Genji-sama isn't around, but I'm a little happy I was sent to the guest house, I think. Oh? Why is that? Because you're able to distance yourself from the bullying of Madame and Eva-sama? Or do you have another reason? I don't have any other reasons. I see. Let's do our best together with the night and night shift. I'm counting on you, Ne-san. This is a really cute sprite. Oh, sorry. Goodbye, dog. Ah, she got him. She got him first.
Sniped.
Damn. Just now, I was asked to go to the children's room and play with them. Shannon hung her head apologetically and made uncertain glances towards Cannon's eyes. Cannon didn't try to meet her gaze and spoke curtly as he sighed. Looked like he didn't plan on indulging his sister. You can't. You were assigned the night shift. Besides that, it's not necessary for furniture like us to respond to an invitation to play. You understand, right? Oh, I like this sprite a lot less than the previous sprite. Yes, I do understand. She's like, but I want to play cards. Shannon dropped her shoulders slightly. She had already expected the Cannon, who considered rules to be very important, would probably say something like that, but even so, she was a little discouraged. As Cannon turned the pages of a logbook, he spoke without facing Shannon. In that case, you must be keeping the children. You must be keeping the children waiting. You have to apologize and tell them you have the night shift and won't be able to stay with them. Off you go then.
Christ.
Yeah. I'll just go apologize. Shannon hurriedly stirred from her seat before her brother's mood could change. Gave a quick bow and flew out of the servant room. Damn, Cannon. As he watched her disappear, Cannon took a single deep breath. Genji's voice came from beyond the screen. Cannon, I will be here, so you should go too. Genji-sama. Shannon was the only one who called. Shannon was the only one called. It's not like I was invited. That is only because you were not there at the time. If you had been, you would have been invited as well. It's good to play as a child from time to time. Aw, Genji. No, that's not something I need to do. A human child may have a need to play, but we are furniture. Please explain this. I need somebody to explain this, like, soon. Is that so? Nisan is almost like furniture. Even if she pretends to be a person, it would only hurt her later. I understand that, so I try not to get too close to people. Genji does not say anything after that. It's fornophilia, don't ask. I know what that is. Sorry, it's too late for me.
What is that?
You know how, like, J.D. Vance is?
Yeah.
It's like that, but like a person is the furniture.
Role playing? Kidding?
Yes. No, a person is like Bean just brought that up. No. Fornophilia is like it's not actually like fucking furniture or anything like that. It's like when like it's the idea of like human furniture. It's when you want to
Oh.
be the furniture. Yeah, exactly. Like you want to be a chair or
Oh.
something.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love how active the chat got for like a split second there.
Like everyone's like pornophilia. I need to clarify immediately. Dede was wrong. I was getting there. I know what this is about.
Thank you, y'all.
After a few moments passed, he stood up and used a pot of hot water to make some hot chocolate and powder. Served to Cannon as well. Please explain the furniture. I need them to explain the furniture bit somewhere. Holy crap, seriously? I did not know that. Keep it down, dumbass! Well, we don't want you spreading any misconceptions about the pornophilia community. You know what? I bet they have their problems anyways. Oh, Lord. Oh. I went and checked the... sorry, I just saw that I had notification on the collab server. SCP canceled. It sucks. It's booty butt cheeks.
Oh, really? Aww.
Yeah. That's fine. I would have liked to give it a shot, but if they, I'm willing to take their word for it. Thank you for sending me the screenshot.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. This is a warning.
Yeah.
I'm making midnight my hard cut off.
Okay, gotcha. Keep it down, dumbass. You'll wake Maria up. Father was so surprised that he yelled obnoxiously and scattered discarded everywhere. His voice caused Maria to turn over once, but she soon fell back into a deep sleep. Jefferson's servants here just have been told to act like they are part of the house furniture, not people. I mean, sure, but I think there's probably more to it with the way they keep bringing it up. I don't think that they would bring it up if it was just something so simple, you know? Jessica gave him a jab. He lowered his voice. Yeah, but yeah, now that you said that, they really did have that kind of atmosphere, didn't they? Oh, George and Shannon dating. Ah, now I see. That George Aniki. Beauty. Cannon's just a fan of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast situation reversed. Incredible. George cannot be seen anywhere in the room. A short while ago, when Shannon had come into the room, George had suddenly said that he had forgotten something in the mansion and needed to go back and get it. Shannon said that she would guide him just as she had on the way to the guest house, and the two of them left together. And they're fucking now. Whoa! They haven't shown signs of it for a long time, you know? Asking what the other person liked, asking what their hobbies were. I always knew it was too much to be just a passing interest. Fucking! Come to think of it, I get the feeling that George Aniki has always been overly nice to Shannon-chan. Now I get it.
Rattler's just like flashbacking to when he was flirting with Shannon.
Yeah.
He's like,
Boys.
Oh fuck.
Oh, new CG.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. I like that.
Right?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Beatrice has been in the gazebo the whole time. Oh no, they're fucking in the gazebo. Okay. I'm getting really eager for Beatrice.
Yeah, you are.
According to the weather report, it looks like it will be at its worst tonight. It also seems that it won't stop all tomorrow, but it should get a little better. Really? Then the boat may not arrive until the day after tomorrow. I'm concerned that it might interfere with your work on Monday. I already knew that the typhoon would be coming beforehand. Just in case, I made sure I didn't have any plans for Monday, so it's alright. There's a small hammer hanging on the side. George shoved out his chest, acting proud. Compared to the normally composed appearance that George always had as his oldest cousin, now he looked amusingly like a little kid. Shannon chuckled at the gap. It's no surprise that someone who will soon make his company prosperous is so well prepared. Making a company prosperous is really a tough job. Money isn't the only thing that's important. I learned that well by studying from my father. Making a company prosperous is like having a castle and leading your subordinates. My father, true to his name of Hideyoshi, really loves reading about the great leaders of the Sengoku period. the Warring States period. Most of his philosophical speeches on business management start with one of them. Did you know? Takeda Shingen, who is feared as oh god, scroll down. Who was feared as the leader of the strongest cavalry corps in the Sengoku period, started out with his troops in complete disarray and didn't have the kind of strong leadership necessary to utilize them well. Is that true? It's a little unexpected. In order to unite his troops, Shingen utilized several strategies. For example, when soldiers succeeded well in battle, he would immediately honor them with a medal. Normally, that kind of thing was put off until after the war, and they were all awarded at once. By doing that regularly out in the field of battle, he immediately showed his appreciation for his troops' military exploits, which motivated them in an extremely significant fashion. Furthermore, whenever one of his troops was brought down by an illness, he would be the first to rush up to them and care for them, things like that. Takeda Shingen wasn't just the man who led the strongest cavalry corps in the Sengoku period, he was the person who cared most for his troops through the Sengoku period. That must have been why all his troops followed him. Truth was, Shannon had already heard this story several years ago.
Oh my god!
God. Yeah. But when George started to tie his father in with one of these stories, he would always be so beaming, like looking like he was having a great time. So Shannon didn't interrupt, but merely smiled to encourage him to continue. Of course, in the capitalist world, money is power, and it's also the height of your castle wall. Or you can't build up a castle and succeed in war by yourself. That kind of thing can only be created with the support of many subordinates, by borrowing their strength. After understanding this, when I look at my father's back, I realize how immature I am. I see how much my father has cultivated his character by working hard. I understand how he was able to build up all that he has today. George-sama, you truly look up to your father. I'm jealous. Sorry, that's not exactly how I meant to say it. I'm sorry, I also didn't mean it that way. Fuck already, Jesus Christ! The two of them awkwardly looked at their feet. Shannon had no parents. She had been brought up in a welfare institute owned by Kinzo called the Gospel House. Wow, this is really fucked up all of a sudden.
Yep.
Under the guidance of the honorary director, Kinzo the Gospel House offered excellent students the chance to live a life of service. If they were accepted, they would be able to leave the institute and work as servants for the Yushiromiya family. This is considered to be highest honor for a student. Servants from the Gospel Fukuin House took all names of the characters in, on, non in them while they served. Shoshanon wasn't her real name. The shame goes for Kenon. All the students of the Gospel House were orphans. Or failing that, people had been disowned by their parents through some special circumstances. Because of this, the students have been taught to think of each other as their only family. That's why it seems so natural for Kenon to call Shannon his sister. That's fucked up. And while only Shannon and Cannon were working today in the mansion, there were other servants around who worked in the shift rotation named Manon and Lennon, who also inherited the character in their names. Never flirt with the hell. Yeah, this is like, yeah, like I'm still like as cute as this moment is. Like the power dynamic is just not.
It's not good.
It's not good. Lennon, different.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been Lenin because it did have like the NIN like thing interpretation of that. So Lenin could have been serving here. However, there were not many servants who stayed with the Yushiromiya family for long. It was standard for them to quit after 3 years. So you'd probably say that Shannon, who had been working for over 10 years, was a very rare exception to the rule. Working as a servant for the Yushiromiya family was a heavy burden to bear, but the pay wasn't bad at all. Working for a full 3 years would earn more than what was needed to enter mainstream society. That was why, even though the students had realized what a harsh task work for the Yushiromiya family was, they still hoped to be accepted. But in Shannon's case, maybe the fact that she had managed to continue for more than 10 years should not be viewed as her having more willpower than any other servants. Maybe it was a lack of courage to say that she wanted to quit that forced her to continue working for these 10 years. Kinzo, who could not even trust his own blood relative, those excellent servants sent from the Gospel House were the only ones he could trust. Because of that, Kinzo would sometimes allow them to wear the family crest as servants under his direct control, and have them work close to him. You've already been working here for about 10 years, was it? You must have saved up a lot of money by now, right? I don't know, really. It's not like there's anything in particular I'd like to buy. Lenin fanon is surprisingly common among leftists. Yeah, I mean, fair. Just because you have a few million yen doesn't mean you have enough to live the rest of your life with. So you haven't been working here trying to reach the target sum? No, I haven't. I have nowhere to go outside of this mansion. I've been getting along well with the lady and other young servants, too. I'm sometimes scolded by Madame, but caring for the rose garden and cleaning the mansion is fine. That's in your life, Sayo-chan. Oh, shit.
Namorville.
Shannon cast her eyes downwards when she heard her real name. She understood what George was trying to say and closed her mouth. Even after becoming an adult and a full-fledged member of society, I've been studying and I've learned something. A human's life is not as monotonous or short as we thought when we were kids. The horrifying thought that everyone has in their student years. Will the rest of my life be a monotonous, boring, sleep-inducing after-school class where I endlessly, lazily while away the time until finally it ends without anything interesting ever happening? However, these thoughts only arise when a person is still an underage student. Compared to human life, the time that they spend as a student is nothing more than a blink of an eye. Just the period before they break out of their shells and cast off their immaturity. Inside of their shell might be a hot, suffocating, and boring world. The world beyond the shell is vast and filled with limitless possibilities. Now that my grandpa's a fucker and you need to get the fuck out of here, Sayo. No, he should have already known that. Let's not act like this is new information to anyone, let alone, least of all, Shannon. Or Sayo, I guess. So far, your life has only been spent only within a shell called Shannon. Aren't you making the mistake of thinking that your life will always continue like this? That is... Shannon couldn't deny those words. She hadn't been able to find any concrete issues with her way of life, and since she had never had any desire or goal to change herself in any particular way, she continued her life idly. If she were asked whether her life was already fulfilled, she wouldn't necessarily have been able to nod. It might have been a truth she was deliberately averting her eyes from. As long as George did not realize that truth, she would have continued pretending not to notice as her real life slipped away, neglected bit by bit. George-sama, is it wrong for me to continue living this way? It's wrong. Whoa!
Yeah.
It's wrong. By the way, didn't you break one of the rules just now? George immediately gave a strict answer and broke out into a mischievous smile. Shannon already knew what he was being chided for, and it seemed like that it embarrassed her as she hung her head. Didn't you promise not to use Sama when the two of us are alone? I can't obey that as a promise. But if it was an order, I would have to obey it. Because I'm furniture. Please explain. Then it's an order. George!
He doesn't care.
He doesn't... I don't know if he's choosing not to realize what's happening here, or like you can't be in a good relationship with somebody where that is that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't I'll obey any orders. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. Then it's an order. Yes, certainly, George-san. As Shannon hung her head, her face red, she said George's name again, this time using son. Yes, that's better, Sayo-chan. Smile rose to George's face, praising Shannon. No, Sayo's a small act of bravery. You know, it's gonna be a real shame when this gets fucking torpedoed. The way they talk with each other gave off the sense that their relationship had already been ongoing for some time. For a while, as if the weather raging around them didn't even enter their consciousness, the two of them talked about the many memories they had built during their relationship that no one else knew about. Every once in a while, a flash of lightning would attempt to dampen the mood, but it could not sully these memories, which seemed to flush even the roses outside a deeper shade of red. I want murder.
Christ, hold your horse.
Oh, yes. Okay. I was like...
Yeah.
There was a split second where I'm like, what are we zooming back in on?
I got an ad.
Oh no.
Wait.
I hate to ruin the romance from the air and the maid train to his grandpa's maid orphanage. Yeah.
I would hate
to...
should
I... Do you want me to hold off? Do you want me to hold off
for 15 seconds?
Something big, I guess.
Nice weather we're having, huh?
Yeah. I really love the sound of rain, tapping on a window. I think it's super cozy.
Yeah, Rosa and Maria would agree.
Anyway.
Ad is over.
Alright. Oh, yes, I have something I wanted to show you. What could it be? It's going to be a ring. You're going to say yes. Things are going to go very badly. George, who had been speaking eloquently, suddenly started to stutter. From his manner, Shannon too understood something. George similarly searched for his pocket for it. It got caught deep in his pocket somehow, and it came out even somewhat slowly and awkwardly in the same manner as his speech. It's a very small box. A small box covered in deep blue velvet. Go on, open the box. It's at this box held at waist height. Go on, open it. Reach inside. What's in the box? Its characteristic shape was enough to make anyone realize what was resting inside. Shannon had been preparing her heart a little, unsure of what it must be. But even so, when she actually saw it, she couldn't avoid blushing once more. George opened the small box, took it out, held it out for Shannon to take. I want you to accept this. I can't accept something so valuable. You can't accept it? That's not... I meant... Something like that is too... good for me. Kyle, this is not a request. It's an order, okay? George? George! This is not a good look, George. You have to understand. George! Accept this ring, okay? George, are you evil? Are you a fucking user? I can't disobey an order. Yes, that's right.
She loves it.
Good girl. I need to go kill myself. I need to go kill myself immediately. Oh, George. Oh, good CG. Shannon, not wanting to show her bright red face, timidly accepted the ring from George's hand while staring at the ground. The ring wasn't a simple accessory. It was a noble object which, since ancient times, was meant to be offered to a special woman with a special meaning. So while George could order her to take it, he could not order anything beyond that. Anything beyond that would depend not on an order, but on Shannon, no Sayo's own will. This is a stretch! So from here on out, it's no longer an order. So I want you to answer me tomorrow without using words. Oh, this is gonna go fucking awful tomorrow.
Let's go.
Things are gonna explode. I won't order you anymore, so this isn't an order. But a ring is something you put on your finger. If you like, you can just put it on any finger that you choose. Shannon had only pretended not to know. He'd already understood what he wanted her to do. She was standing at a huge crossroads of her life. Look at how late it's gotten. It's called a night. George faced away from Shannon, seeming slightly uncomfortable. Might be possible for me to order you to put it on your finger, put it on a finger of your left hand. You, too, might be timid and dependent enough to actually obey that kind of an order. But I want you to do this very last part of your own will, Sayo. This is fucked. You can't do this whole ordering shit. Like, George, I'm sorry. This shit ain't right. You understand that, right? You understand, right? Yes. So that's my order. I want you to think about it tonight and show me your answer tomorrow. Shannon nodded back. Today was a culmination of their long relationship.
I love K-dramas.
Yeah, this moment had come not as any surprise to Shannon. We should be getting back to the guest house soon. If we take any longer, we'll make everyone worry about us. I think there's a reason why we're seeing so many shiny glasses sprites. Because this is, like, kind of evil. Like... I'm sorry, I just remembered something I had to do in the mansion, so, I have to go back to the mansion. George, what is this sprite? Something this late, really? George stared into Shannon's face as she laughed mischievously. He'd seen through that obvious lie of Shannon's, but imagining how she felt, it wasn't as though he couldn't understand her embarrassment and why she might ask to be alone. And so George, having understood Shannon's lie and all that was behind it, allowed her to leave. Allowed her to leave! Allowed! He's being very sweet to his servant wife. Yes, but the entire dynamics of the relationship from the beginning is fucked.
Yep. Yay!
Yay!
Well, it's 10 minutes to midnight.
I know part of me wants to keep going, but I will hold off.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I think this is a great way to leave off on until, like, whenever the fuck we get back on here.
But I want Beatrice and I want murder.
No! You get George and his servant wife.
But Beetle!
No!
Alright, that's fine. Let's see who's live on Twitch. Let's see who. No one. Like actually fucking no one. Holy shit. Okay.
No one's ever live at this time.
No, not on a Sunday. Alright. Well, thank you guys for coming by. Tomorrow, I'm guessing next time we do Umineko, it will be murder time.
We shall see.
If we go another session and I don't see Beto, I'm gonna riot. I'm blaming Eddie for this.
Wink.
This is Eddie's fault. Alright,
It's all
anyways.
gonna be okay. No one will die. We are fine. Wink.
Yeah, the typhoon's gonna clear up, they're gonna go home, and then Beto's gonna be like, wow, I guess someone found the gold. Huh. Bye.
Yep.
Alright. Anyways, y'all have a good night. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Don't miss the next one.
Bye.